got him.
Now let's look at the celebration.
Oh, great dodge, the
collision.
collision. Oh, hang on. Is he okay?
Hello and welcome to day 4 of the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. It's otherwise known as Super Saturday because we had 3 matches today, beginning with the Kowloon Cantons taking on Hong Kong Island United. Standing alongside me are the captains and match referee, Mr. Charlie Burke. Bubba, you have the honours, so please toss the coin. Misbah, what have you elected to do?
We're going to bowl first.
And why is that?
I think it's a night and day match, so it's better to bowl in the night time.
I was just about to ask you, have you ever played cricket before 8 a.m?
Yeah, we used to play cricket time and not with the cricket ball, but used to play with the tennis ball or tape ball back at home. So it's a new experience.
And any team changes? We know Ian Bell was struggling yesterday. Is he okay?
We got one change. Ian Bell came for the wicketkeeper Collins, so one change.
All right, Misbah, all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
And Bubba, any team changes for you?
Yeah, Mudassir comes in for Hassan Nawaz. He got injured in the last game, so he comes in.
And what are you looking to do today to improve on? Because today.
Obviously, the loss yesterday disappointed us, but we know we can come back hard and strongly.
Okay, well, Bubba, all the best.
Thank you.
There we go. Hong Kong Island United have won the toss and elected to field.
Hello and welcome to our coverage of this match on day 4 of the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. I'm joined here by Simon Cook. My name's Peter Miller, and hopefully we're going to have a fun day with 3 matches of cricket. Hello Simon, how are you on this very early morning?
Morning, Peter. Morning, everybody. It's good to be here very early in the morning. I think we're changing the face of cricket here, playing probably the first night-day match in cricket's history. Yeah, pretty overcast morning, a little bit of drizzle in the air. And we see Samuel Badri opening up here in this first game of today, trying to keep the dangerous Dwayne Smith as quiet as he can.
Absolutely. So we've got Dwayne Smith and Baba Hyatt opening the batting for Kowloon Cantons.
Yeah, and again, the same thing as we saw yesterday with this leg stump line to Dwayne Smith, really trying to keep him quiet as possible. He's probably still a little bit asleep. It's not even 8 o'clock here this morning, here in Hong Kong. There we go, first 6 of the day. We see as soon as he's given any room whatsoever outside that off stump, he's able to free his arms all the way through it. And these boundaries here just aren't big enough.
Yeah, in the first match here against City Kai Tak, we saw Dwayne Smith score 121 from 40 balls. He was not timing it as well when he played yesterday, but straight into it again today.
Good shot there. Again, showing a little bit of versatility there. As Samuel Badri strays in line and just goes outside leg stump, and he's able to sweep it away for 4. And this is a much better start for the Cantons this morning. There was a pretty slow start yesterday. There was actually a maiden bowled for the first over again in the Cantons innings yesterday against the JD Jaguars.
We've certainly had many more 6s than we've had maidens, well over 100 6s across the 6 matches that we've had so far. This is match 7 today.
Yeah, and it's always going to be the case with these small boundaries, and the wicket's generally pretty good. And the best time to bat is up front. Ball's nice and hard and new. There's not been much turn, not been much spin. So it's just about playing nice and smart and getting your swing through the line of the ball, and you've every chance of having a lot of success here. As we see Baba Hyatt just getting ready to face his first ball of today.
Jamie Atkinson there keeping wicket today in the place of Rory Keynes.
Yeah, we see one change in the Ireland United team where injured Ian Bell, comes back into the team, and Rory Keynes, who's kept well actually in the first 2 games, it makes way for him. So we see Syed Ajmal, it's a double spin for Hong Kong Island United in this first game of today.
Slightly interesting tactic, do you think, with it being so early in the morning? We may have been a little bit of nibble around for the seam bowlers?
Yeah, possibly. It might be trying to get the spinners out of the way before the Duke gets on the ball. It certainly was when I walked over this morning at around 7 o'clock. There was a heavy dew on the ground, certainly in the outfield. So it may be that they're just trying to get a wicket or 2 here early on, get these 2 dangerous players out, and then the seamers can come in a bit later.
Dwayne Smith, obviously well known to most cricket watchers around the world. Baba Hyatt, the Hong Kong international captain, perhaps slightly less so. He's 25 and had an absolutely fantastic series against the Netherlands in both the I Cup and the World Cricket League Championship matches.
He's really come of age in the last 12 months. In particular, his scores, he started to get more and more consistent. His technique has tightened up quite significantly in those last 12 months. He's started to understand his game, and obviously having the responsibility of being captain, that sits well with him, with his game. Some players it increases their success, and some players it actually has a bit of a hindrance. But he's definitely one that relishes in leading the side and leading from the front with a bat. And we haven't really seen the best of Bubba in this tournament so far. And I'm hoping that everyone watching here is going to experience something that's of Baba Hyatt that we know that he can do, and he can do it on the world stage. He's improved his fitness a lot, worked very, very hard on his fitness. He holds a lot of records for Hong Kong. He's got the highest T20 international score for Hong Kong, which I think is the 2nd highest, or is in the top 3 in T20 international cricket. He's the first player to score a first-class 100 for Hong Kong, and he was the first player to score 2 first-class 100s for Hong Kong. As we see the ball go outside, past the outside edge there, as Syed Ajmal just changes up the pace to Dwayne Smith there, and ends the 2nd over. So he's kind of trailblazing in a way, in his own way, and the likes of Anshuman Rath and Nazaket Khan, who we've seen in this tournament, are going well as well.
So this is as we arrived this morning. You can see the crew were here at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting ready to go. Still very dark and dusky, but light enough to be playing cricket now. But the plan is to get 3 matches in, and with the darkness coming very quick here in this part of the world, the only way to get 3 matches in is to have an early start. But as you can see, the ground staff are here nice and early. Everyone's ready to go to bring you this coverage of 3 matches today.
Badri into his 2nd over. So Baba comes down the track, looks to try and hit that straight, but gets a bit of a thick inside edge. It goes out to mid-wicket, and a diving stop there or diving attempt by Devang Gosaria to try and pick that up. Or is that Carl Christie down there?
Yeah, Carl Christie, Australian, lives in Australia, born here though, wasn't he, right? One of the bring them home guys.
Yeah, that's right.
No. Another lovely ball from Badri. But if there's any of the crew or anybody that's particularly upset about being here this early to watch cricket, we've got Max Abbott, the tournament director, to blame for it. So thank you very much, Max. I, for one, am absolutely delighted. Any time of the day that I can watch cricket's a good time of the day.
I think this epitomises, in a way, cricket in Hong Kong. With only 3 turf grounds, you maximise every possible daylight hour, and it's not unusual for this to happen. For example, on a Saturday they would have an under-15s game here, for example, early in the morning, and then a Saturday league game in the afternoon. So hit off the back foot down towards long on for an easy single there by Baba Hyatt. So yeah, it's about maximising time that we have on the grounds.
So yeah, there's another shot there of that back foot punch up the ground from Baba Hyatt.
Well, what I'd like to see from Bubba in this innings really is a little bit of calmness. There's been a lot of talk, particularly from Ryan Campbell. I think he said on commentary that you have more time than you think, and it's certainly the case. As Dwayne Smith pokes that one down the pitch, nearly a caught and bowled there for Samuel Badri, but he ends up getting off strike and down the other end.
One of the things with Badri, top spinner from him there, is that gets just enough variation to be able to get the edges of the bat, and it's something I know that bowlers talk about a lot, isn't it? You don't need lots of variation, it's just an inch or two, and that's the difference between someone middling it and someone getting the outside edge.
Yeah, sometimes you can move it too much, but yeah, you only have to move it maybe an inch offline, and that's what brings the edge into play. If you're moving it a couple of inches, generally the batters are going to miss it, but you can't really control that. That's sort of natural variation and to do with the pitch. As you can go, it looks like all spin in this power play as Dwayne Smith looks to try and accelerate that scoring rate by swinging it over the mid-wicket boundary, but he's just succeeded in missing that one as Syed Ajmal just drops it short. Doesn't give him any room.
Oh my goodness, a bit of a mix-up there. Is there going to be a run out? He's made it back just in time. Baba Hyatt was coming there, and Dwayne Smith is looking at him thinking to himself, what on earth were you up to there, Baba? There wasn't a run there.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of a hangover from what we're trying to do within the national team, which is trying to pressurise fielders. It's a sweep shot there. It's going to go down towards the backward square boundary for another boundary. Dwayne Smith, I don't think is really interested in running too many quick singles. I think he's more interested in hitting the boundaries. And what we're trying to do in the national side is improve our running. It's about trying to gain small advantages wherever you can within the innings. So every extra run we can eke out, the better. Because we haven't got the luxury of a Dwayne Smith in the side who's going to be able to just go at a strike rate of 300.
Hit him on the pad, but of course with this around the wicket line from Syed Ajmal, he's pitching the ball outside off stumps, it can't be out LBW. It's quite interesting actually. He's been every single ball he's bowled in this tournament has been around the wicket so far. At least the ones that I've seen. I think I've watched every ball so far.
Yeah, he has bowled a couple over the wicket, but primarily what he's trying to do is, as you see another ball here, he's trying to do exactly that. It's just with a bit of variation. He can pitch it on middle and off, spin it back if he can, which brings bowl and LBW into the equation, but he's also got the ball that does go across the batter, which as it keeps going across the batter, he suddenly brings in, it keeps going away and outside the batter's eye line, which means he potentially can get wickets. We just see the ball coming back in towards Baba Hyatt there, so he's challenging both edges, inside edge and outside edge. And in this first power play, he's a pretty smart bowler. He's not really letting any of the batters free their arms too much.
Just glancing over, and it looks as if it's going to be Badri to continue.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get out the power play here, and in a way, it's how the Cantons have gone in this first 4 overs has been good. They haven't lost a wicket. They've gone at a reasonable scoring rate. But what you are doing, from a Cantons perspective, is you're taking out all these 4 or maybe even 6 overs of their primary spinners, which means maybe scoring in the middle and late overs is going to be a lot easier. So a bit of smart play here. Keep ticking along. You can get to 35, 40 off of 6 overs, and the spinners are done. Then they're really in the box seat. Driven hard. Badri does the fielding. Well, the ball hit him. Does that count as doing the fielding? Yeah, I wouldn't quite call that fielding. That's more, I can't really get out of the way. And interesting with Badri here, you look, he doesn't really use his front arm particularly much, that much, and he's that's kind of just hit him there on the way back. Give it a bit of a rub, and he should be all right. He's lip reading there. I think he said that's quite painful.
Pulled down and pulled away. That's going to go for 6 runs. First 6 of the day. Short ball and punished. Lovely shot from Baba.
Yeah, that was quite a violent pull shot, wasn't it? We've seen some graceful pull shots. This one's quite violent. Not sure he actually got all of that. He's a very powerful man, Bubba Hyatt.
When he comes down the pitch and just works it away to the leg stump, I suppose that's the thing with coming down the pitch, is that you make the decision to come down the pitch, and that's not necessarily the end of the decision making, is it? You can make a decision once you get there, depending on how close you get to the pitch of the ball, as to whether or not you're going to launch it or just try and work it away for a single, as Baba did there.
Yeah, that's right. And as you see Badri in again.
Oh, so close to coming back to a court and bowled.
Yeah, just ball sticking in the pitch. Dwayne Smith going really hard at the ball there, trying to poke it down the ground and nearly getting that edge and getting back to Samuel Badri, but Samuel Badri maybe just hanging off a little bit. Doesn't really want to get the ball hit back at him like he did just before, as the ball is skidded through and jabbed out to mid-off to end this over, and the score on 32 after 5 overs now. But yeah, going back, Bubba Hyatt, very, very powerful, very, very powerful cricketer, and it's interesting. You see, particularly the guys who are coming down the pitch. Noticed a lot in this cricket here that the associate players come down very, very early, and it means that the bowlers have a chance to really adjust whether their line or their length, or try and drop it down a little bit to ensure that they deceive the batters still. And you're right in what you said earlier, is just because you come down doesn't mean you're fixated in one particular shot. As we see Ehsan Khan spin again to finish out this power play. And this will be an interesting battle here with Bubba Hyatt and Ehsan Khan. They're great friends in the national team. They play at the same club, Lil Saiwan, here in Hong Kong domestically. They train a lot together, so they know each other inside out. And Bubba's going to win the first battle as he tries to hoik one over mid-wicket and ends up getting a thick inside edge, but getting 4 runs for it.
Yeah, not the most powerful of shots, but just did Tanveer there. Trickling away for 4 runs. When I say trickling, actually, bearing in mind that you were saying about the dew, the ball's travelling quite quick across the outfield there. Certainly hasn't slowed it up.
Yeah, so the ground staff have been able to actually cut the grass quite low. As you see Ehsan coming in, a bit more flight, and again it's a violent attempt at trying to get it over mid-on, and we get a thick inside edge out to Carl Christie at deep mid-wicket. But yeah, the ground staff have been able to reduce the length of the grass here for this tournament in particular. Normally it's a little bit longer, so the outfield's a bit slower. So we've been able to reduce the length of the grass, which has been good. A sweep shot out, and it's going to be more runs this time for Dwayne Smith. Again, the sweep shot's working very well for him today. Yesterday it didn't work quite so well, but today working very, very well for him.
A lot more touch than power to Dwayne Smith's innings so far. Certainly on the first day we saw more power than touch. He was launching the ball down the ground. Hit 13 sixes in that innings of 121 from 40 balls.
Yeah, an amazing innings it was as well. It was a bit surreal. It didn't really seem to end. The balls just kept flying out the ground. And what we're seeing here, Dwayne Smith is he's an uncomplicated cricketer, isn't he? He's got his game plan. He knows what he's got. He's got a sweep shot. He's got a slog sweep. And if you get too full on him, he's going to hit you out the ground, back over your head. Kind of how he's going about it. And then all he'll end up doing is just poking it out to rotate the strike around. Very, very effective.
That's very close to being an LBW. Huge appeal, and he's given. Umpire Ward gives him reverse sweeps, pins him on the foot, and he's gone.
Yeah, and that's like I was saying, he's kind of gone away from his game plan there in a way. He's gone to a reverse sweep when probably didn't really need to, and he's going to pay the price there as the ball hits him on the foot right in front of middle stump. I think it's a fair decision there.
And Dwayne Smith isn't particularly happy with it, but looking at the replay, that looked pretty plumb. Very, very full. Certainly if it hit him in line with the stumps, then that's out, and it looked as if it did. And I think it's a fair enough decision from umpire John Ward.
Yeah, and Ehsan Khan rightfully delighted with that. It's a big wicket for his team, Hong Kong United. as Dwayne Smith was starting to get going. Good indication there on the line of the ball is where Jamie Atkinson was. He wasn't going down leg side. He was staying pretty much where he was. So that's always a good indicator for me as to whether a ball's going down the leg side or not. Is what the keeper's doing. As we see Callum McLeod coming into bat, played a good innings yesterday. Nearly got the Cantons over the line, but he was pretty disappointed. I spoke to him afterwards, and he got a start yesterday, but didn't really go on, and that was what he was more disappointed about.
Well, it's an absolutely excellent performance by the Hung Hom JD Jaguars to successfully defend a total that perhaps they weren't favourites to by any stretch of the imagination. They did well to pick up the wickets of the big hitting Kowloon Cantons batsmen.
That's right. It was very, very clear that it was actually the first team that I've seen so far to come out with some really specific plans and being able to execute those plans very, very well over a period of time. And that was a very impressive performance for me yesterday. As we see Tanwir Afzal into the attack, so we're into the 7th over, and the previous Hong Kong captain, Tanwir Afzal, bowling to the current Hong Kong captain, Bubba Hyatt. Keeper up, Jamie Atkinson, who was the captain before Jamie Atkinson. So it's an interesting tussle here of post and current captains of Hong Kong.
One's a bit short and cut away. It's going to be a decent piece of fielding there.
Yeah, just back of a length, and again, hopefully they will have learned a little bit. Tanwir Afzal learned from the lengths that the JD Jaguars bowled, which is more into the pitch and not floating it up there to allow the batters to get their hands through the ball and out over the boundary. Again, good length, not really letting anyone free their arms. Very, very good length there.
It's Divang Bulsara, I believe, the young man that did the fielding there, took an absolutely belting catch earlier on in the week. I think he probably misjudged it slightly, but good hands saved him, and certainly looked very spectacular.
Yeah, that's right. He's on his 12th man. I'm not quite sure who he's on for at the moment. Possibly Ian Bell.
And he's gone.
Looks like he's a little drag on inside edge. No foot movement from Bubba Hyatt there. Again, rewarded for a very, very good line and length on this particular pitch early in the morning. You know, we're just past 8 o'clock in the morning here, so there's probably going to be a little bit of nibble in there. And Bubba Hyatt's paying the price there for not really moving his feet.
Well, as we suspected, there certainly is a little bit of nibble around. The smart tactic, I think we agree, from Misbah to get some spin bowlers out the way, but as soon as the seamers are on, a little bit of seam movement in these overcast conditions. Haven't taken my jumper off in 3 days here. It's quite chilly actually here in Hong Kong.
You just keep putting them on, don't you? Certainly I've been putting more and more layers on as we go through, and it doesn't look like the sun's going to come out anytime soon, unfortunately. You see Marlon Samuels coming into bat. This is probably the earliest time he's ever picked up a cricket bat. Interesting Under Armour or undergarments he's got on there. The match referee might be talking to him about that.
Oh, that's a very, look at that. That's like red camo. That's absolutely belting.
I think that can probably pass as part of their uniform by the look of it. It's kind of a reddy, bluey colour, isn't it?
Reddy bluey, one of the more descriptive uses for the uniform here.
I think in the playing conditions or the code of conduct, your base layer needs to be either black or a similar colour to your playing uniform, and you know, he's not too far off there.
He's got a red trim, hasn't he? We'll let him off. Oh, that's a very nice piece of touch as it's run down to third man, where Saeed Ajmal does the fielding, throws it back into Jamie Atkinson.
Yeah, brings Callum McLeod onto strike, and you know, there's 2 new men in there after a really good start from the Kowloon Cantons. 2 new men in at the crease. They'll have to look to rebuild here a little bit and then start to attack. again, like I said, the advantage is that they've burned up a few overs from their really good spinners. So a bit of smart cricket here. Marlon Samuels in at the end, and the Cantons still have a chance of getting a really competitive total. You see a ball just drilled into Callum McLeod's ankle as the ball just angles in. He spoke yesterday about, Callum spoke yesterday to me about how many times he inside edged the ball. He doesn't often do that, and it's probably a product of the pitch that's happening here. Just angling in lines that bowlers are bowling. As he just runs that one down to Syed Ajmal down at third man. Jamie Atkinson cleaning up, and that brings to an end the 7th over and score 44 for 2.
Well, we're going to have some highlights here of the wickets that fell for the Kowloon Cantons yesterday against Hung Hom JD Jaguars. Lovely catch from Johan Botha on the boundary there, and another absolutely stellar catch from Mohammad Naveed. And this one is my favourite. One-handed grab, absolutely stunning catch, that one.
Yeah, it's very, very good catch. Moved quite well, stuck out that right hand, and it just stuck in there. So we see spin again. So predominantly going with spin, the Island United team.
Daniel Pascoe into the attack, 33 years old, born in Australia. He's played 8 first-class games for Oxford University back in between 2009 and 2012. I believe he's a lawyer, isn't he, Mr. Pascoe?
He's actually a law professor, I believe. So he travels around. He's in America at the moment. So he's just flown in for this tournament. He's doing some lecturing, I think, in the US. He's been here in Hong Kong for quite a while. He actually qualifies soon, so if he goes quite well, we may be seeing him donning the Hong Kong colours if he fancies it. He's been very, very successful bowler, probably our best left-arm spinner in domestic cricket over the past 2 or 3 seasons. Quite a smart guy, as you'd expect, and it's good to see him given the opportunity to play in this T20 Blitz.
Oxford University educated law professor. So pulls out then. See Marlon Samuels there at the non-striker's end. He missed the Caribbean Premier League last year playing with the West Indian Test team, but he's been signed up by the St Lucia Stars at the draft last night. That one's wide and cut away for a single.
Yeah, there was a few surprises in that. There was the two Afghan guys got picked up. Nabi and Rashid, they got picked up. So same thing as in the IPL. Little less money though, I think, but still they're picked up, and experience for them playing in another high quality T20 event is going to be vital for them going forwards.
There's a play and a miss there from Samuels. Not bad money. Top players are getting $160,000 US for 5.5 weeks work.
It's not bad, is it?
Well, I mean, it's probably the daily rate we're getting here for this commentary, isn't it?
Yeah, just move the decimal place several places to the left and you'll be all about right.
And then have it in Hong Kong rather than US dollars.
Yeah, I think it's Zimbabwe dollars. I think if that's still a currency at the moment. Dan Pascoe keeping these boys a bit quiet. Bowl's quite slow, but again the plan is there. He's going to bowl a little bit wider. Ian Bell fielding that. It's not look like he's moving that well. Ian Bell, he got hit in the foot the first game by Mohammad Naveed. Hopefully he's well enough to bat. We're looking forward to seeing him bat a little bit later. But Dan Pascoe here just trying to bowl that full stump line, get the ball hit out to Carl Christie at deep point. Just trying to control the game here a little bit.
Hugely excited at the CPL draft. They're one of my favourite cricketers. Rakeem Cornwall's also gone to the St Lucia Stars.
I've never seen him play actually. I've not seen too much of the CPL. We don't here in Hong Kong. There's not too much cricket on domestic TV, and so you have to rely on Star Sports and 10 Sports for any footage. So we don't tend to see a lot of CPL here. We get a lot of IPL with Star Cricket, but not so much of the CPL.
Well, time-wise, they're pretty much, I think, exactly 12 hours behind in the West Indies. So with games starting at 8 o'clock at night, they'll be on at 8 o'clock in the morning, which isn't necessarily the best time for people just about to go to work.
No, but I'm sure if people can find a streaming site somewhere, they're probably watching it in their offices all over Hong Kong. But see Tanvir Afzal in again, just angles the ball in. Wickets looks a little bit tacky still, particularly early in the morning here as Callum McLeod practices hitting the ball nice and straight, keeping his shape, which is something that I think you need to do as a batter here. Just keep that shape and trust yourself, trust your swing.
Oh, that's close again, but he's got outside the line, so a bit of a strangled appeal. Pulled out a little bit early, but strike on the pads just again.
Yeah, and Tanvir Afzal's coming into this game with good intent. He's been opening the bowling in the last 2 games. They've moved him into the middle of the innings here. A little less pressure, and he's starting to reward the captain with a good spell.
Decent seam and swing movement there. Taking the edge of the bat, trickles out for another single for McLeod.
Yeah, he's just running the ball back in towards Callum McLeod there, and we see another thick inside edge, which is a good indication that the pitch isn't quite as good as it was in the first 2 days.
Misbah doing the fielding again there. I was fortunate, or perhaps unfortunate enough, to be walking around the ground behind Misbah as he walked around the outside of the ground here. And I think it took 3 security guards to push back the fans that wanted a photograph with him.
Yeah, you don't want to leave the ground when Misbah leaves the ground. It could take you a very long time to get out of the 3 or 4 exits that are here.
Again, Tanvir tucking the batsman up. It's been impressive so far.
Yeah, and he's gone back. He's just got good control of line and length. A little bit of nibble. But he's cramped the batters for room. But his length, for me, has been the impressive thing. He's not let them get onto that front foot at all. And he's not bowling short enough for them to get back and pull. So his length has been very, very good.
Oh, it's a wicket there. A lovely, lovely ball. They've persisted with that line. He's attempted the sweep shot. He's missed, and it just clips the top and middle and leg stump.
Yeah, and that shot is all brought about by the build-up to that. The last 2 overs from Tanvir Afzal, he's not giving them anything to hit, and he's had to resort to maybe trying to take on a slightly higher risk shot. It is one of Callum McLeod's strengths, so he's a bit unlucky that he's missed it, but Tanvir Afzal, outstanding 2 overs that he's bowled so far, and has richly deserved the success that he's got.
So Tanvir Afzal's figures now: 2 overs, 6 runs, 2 wickets.
Yeah, and it's very, very good bowling, and it just goes to show that it's pressure that gets wickets in T20. It's not the amazing balls that we're going to get. So you're going to have these two new batters. You got Marlon Samuels, who's in and set already, and who's just come in now.
Asher Zaidi.
Asher Zaidi's just come in now, sporting some very flashy dark red sweatbands. So we're seeing lots of colour here.
Well, he did have a bat that was stained black on the back of it yesterday, but he got a slightly different one, and it was looking very well used yesterday. So I imagine maybe he's decided that one is no longer any good. That's the thing with these new bats now, with them being pressed less. They don't last anywhere near as long as the ones that I used to go out with my dad to a sports shop to buy when I was a kid.
No, they don't last anywhere near as long, unfortunately, and they're pretty expensive now as well. As we see Dan Pascoe setting up for this 10th over.
Chopped away, no run. I've been impressed with Pascoe, actually. Seems a canny operator.
Yeah, like we say, he's a smart guy. He's had slight issues with his action, but they've been resolved, and he bowls with very good control. He's not a big spinner of the ball, but in one-day cricket, sometimes you don't need to be a big spinner of the ball. Actually, you can be better off as long as you've got very, very good control. You're going to be just as effective, if not more effective.
Oh, he's pushed that one down the ground, and it's actually smashed into the Asher Zaidi's back. A bit of lazy running from Marlon Samuels, which brought some oohs and ahs there, but I think he was probably home.
Yeah, and you probably see here that a little bit of inexperience from Dan Pascoe here. He just lays on the floor a little bit too long as Syed Ajmal comes in and sees an opportunity potentially to run out Marlon Samuels. And Dan Pascoe's still on the floor, whereas actually he probably should be up and next to the stumps to be able to to affect that run out.
That kind of game awareness, I think, is something, as you said, just needs to be worked on and drilled into people so it just becomes second nature.
What's the difference between club cricket and international cricket?
That one is hit down the ground. Doesn't quite carry to Syed Ajmal, despite being a bit uppishly. They run through for another single to bring Marlon Samuels back down on strike.
Yeah, and it's stuff like it's things like that that is why this tournament is so good for guys like Dan Pascoe, because he can learn about what it's like playing in international cricket and the other things that he needs to do apart from just batting and bowling that go into winning T20 games or one-day international games. The areas, the small areas that you focus on.
And that one is chopped down the ground. Again, doesn't quite carry all the way to Syed Ajmal. Hasn't quite found his timing yet.
Pitch is a little bit sticky, and Dan Pascoe bowling another very, very good over.
Let's see the pitch that we're playing on today. Here we can see it. They've been absolutely fantastic surfaces so far. Just 2 pitches being used here. This one's the one that we used yesterday, and I think tomorrow we're going to be going back to the one that we used first. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe that's the case. So there's a feeling that the pitch we used the first 2 days is the better pitch. It probably is reflection in the scores as well. And so this one will be used for the 3 games today, and then we'll be finished. Tamer Afzal back for his 3rd over. That's hit off the back foot down to long on, but it's still only going to be a single. Single down there to. It's quite hard to see from our commentary position here. Got a big metal pole in the way.
I've got the better seat. I was here first, so I took the better seat.
I'm not going to get here that early in the morning.
I think I arrived at about 7:05. My taxi ride from TST has been taking me about 35 minutes. This morning it took 12. Not much traffic around at that time on a Saturday morning. So that one is guided away for another single. Ian Bell does the fielding. As we were saying earlier, bruised foot, which saw him miss yesterday's game. Doesn't look quite as lively in the field as we're used to seeing him, but does a decent job there. He was speaking to him before the tournament got underway, and he's still very much wants to be playing Test cricket for England. He's very proud. He knows exactly how many Test matches he played, so he's very proud to have played 118 Tests for England, but he'd like to play some more, and he thinks he's still got the game to do it. And to be honest, I think he's probably right.
Yeah, definitely. He's still a very, very good player. Hugely experienced. Like you say, 118 Tests, that's huge experience.
An absolutely stunning delivery from Tanwir. Brilliant, brilliant bowling with Atkinson stood up to the stumps. He didn't have any chance there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a keeper's nightmare in a way. The batsman having a big swing and it's going down the leg side. But again, good bowling by Tamer Afzal, not giving the batsman any room whatsoever, and it probably feels the team should feel a bit unlucky there to concede 4 byes. But it's 4 runs onto the Cantons total, and it's 4 runs that will be welcomely received. Just gets a bit full, and the ball is then
it's inside the commentary box. Let me go get it.
It's hit down towards the commentary box here, and as Peter scrabbles around in the back of the commentary box. The ball makes its way back onto the boundary. We'll see here as it heads towards our white tent here. In it comes straight into the door and into the production office.
Absolutely fantastic shot, and a bit of excitement for us.
I'm quite glad I'm now sitting behind that pole, so I didn't get hit in the back of the head by a ball coming in here. But yeah, Tamer Afzal just getting a little bit too full there, and he's paid the price and shows the quality of Marlon Samuels, where he can he's playing as he's playing, but then suddenly if the ball's in his area, he's gonna capitalise, and it hit a really good shot for 6 runs, and he's starting to tick now, and the pressure's starting to get back onto Tamer Afzal. It's put down by Saeed Ajmal at short third man. That would have been a key wicket at this time and probably would have knocked the stuffing out of the Cantons innings, but that could be the turning point for them. It might enable them to get somewhere up near that 150, 160 total that they probably need.
Just jotting down that Marlon Samuels was dropped on 13. my report that I've got to write later.
Yeah, it's all happening, isn't it? At least this game is a little bit slower than the first Cantons game, where the balls were flying out the ground left, right and centre, and there were records being tumbling all the time. I thought at one point he was going to get 100 in under 30 balls, which was...
We see a fantastic shot there of Ajmal just almost hanging on to it. Little wry smile from him, but clearly hugely disappointed immediately after that, as Badri's back into the attack. Pulled away there. I thought for a moment it was going to get to 4, but decent stop from Carl Christie out on the mid-wicket boundary.
We haven't seen Carl Christie bowl yet. Looks like they're probably saving him for the end. He's bowled his Yorkers quite well in the first couple of games for Hong Kong United. So yeah, haven't seen him into the attack yet. I think Tani Afzal will look to probably try and get through his 4 now. And then Carl Christie coming in at the back end of the innings.
Another lovely shot. 4 more runs.
Yeah, and this is Badri's last over as well, so once he's done it, potentially the Cantons can accelerate.
It's very Marlon Samuels-esque shot. One of the ones, if you were asking me to describe the kind of shots that he plays, the late cut would definitely be one of those.
He hits it so hard as well, doesn't he? Doesn't really give backward point or short third man any real chance. If it's 2 or 3 feet either side of them, it's going to take some stopping.
Better ball from Badri, fired in at the leg stump, driven down the ground for a single. Marlon Samuels is one of those players that he doesn't seem to do anything, but at the same time is hugely entertaining to watch.
Yeah, you watch him play, he comes in, he bats for a bit, and then suddenly you look up at the scoreboard and he's on 20 or 30, and you go, well, where's he got those from?
Another lovely delivery from Badri. Zaidi tries to run that one down to third man and misses. Once again, another play and a miss from Zaidi, who's struggling to get going here.
Yeah, that's Badri done now. So one of the danger men done for the Cantons. You've got Saeed Ajmal with 1 left, I believe. Tani Afzal should probably complete out here.
4 overs gone. He's conceded 31 runs from them. See whether or not that makes a difference to the scoring rate.
Be interesting to see who the Cantons send in next. I would be, after Waqas Khan's display yesterday in the 3 balls that he faced, I'd like to see him coming in a little bit higher up the order. You've got Shahid Wasif, who's an exciting talent as we look at the first innings scorecard at the moment. And there's a couple of starts in there with Dwayne Smith, Baba Hyatt and Marlon Samuels, all getting starts. Marlon's still in, 20 off 19 balls, so he's setting himself up quite nicely for a bit of a launch at the end. And you got Asir Zaidi, who's just come in. They really need to start probably upping the ante a little bit here now, with Kyle Christie coming into the attack. A little bit more pace on the ball now. The challenge for Kyle here will be to make sure he's maintaining that line and length that Tamir Afzal had, and trying to keep Marlon Samuels as quiet as possible.
Got this tour coming up to Bangladesh. Is Kyle going to be one of those guys that you're going to take with you?
Starts off with a wide leg side. Yes, Kyle will be on that trip. He missed out on the Netherlands series due to an ankle injury, so we had to rest him for that period of time. He was originally in the squad, but yeah, the ankle injury which he sustained in the Desert T20 in January didn't really recover in time. So we gave him a bit of time, and he's come back strong, and he's bowled well in this tournament. Again, very, very good line and length again. Top of sort of pitching middle leg, middle leg, running into the top of the stumps. No room for Marlon to swing his arms. Now he's got to adjust. Left hand, right hand often frustrates bowlers. They have to change the line and length quite often, and that's when you can get the freebie balls, and particularly for left-handers, they tend to get a lot of cuts. With how Kyle will look to bowl at Marlon, it may promote a little bit of width for Zaidi to potentially exploit the square boundary square of the wicket.
Samuel's currently on 20 from 19 balls, so he'll be looking to accelerate, but so far Asher Zaidi's been swinging and missing rather than connecting so far.
Yep, and right on cue, they swing and a miss. Some good bounce there from Kyle Christie. Wasn't too much bounce yesterday, but this one really did get up. Jamie Atkinson taking that above hip height.
Kyle Christie's Perth-based, I believe. Does he play grade cricket there?
Yeah, he plays grade cricket. He's at the moment playing suburban turf cricket. So again, we see a shorter ball, and Zaidi's going to get away with that one. He pulls it out to deep backward square. Yeah, he plays suburban turf cricket at the moment, but he's going to be moving to an A-grade club for next year, we hope, which is going to allow him to train and play a lot more with better players, week in, week out, and then also we're going to try and get him to train with the WA team and the Scorchers. Oh, that's a huge hit.
Is that one going to go all the way out the ground? I think it does, down to the flats there, to see whether or not that one's disappeared. I'm looking over to my right to see whether or not the reserve umpire has gone to... Yep, indeed, the reserve umpire's on his way out with a box of balls.
Yeah, might need a taxi to get that one back. That's right in the slot.
Hugely powerful batsman, and when he does connect, it goes a long way.
And again, we see as soon as you give the batters free rein to swing their arms, they can really make you pay, and that's one of the bigger sixes that we've seen. It's gone, although it's gone on the shorter boundary. It's probably, well, it is one of the biggest sixes that we've had, and may even have hit the flats just on that, just behind the boundary there.
It's got a fluid action that Christie has.
Yeah, it is. He's got a good solid action. Has the ability to bowl a little bit quicker, and we'll be working on that. He's only really been in our system for the last 8 months or so, but he's come on well. Lost a little bit of weight, got a little bit fitter. Like I said, just the workload has impacted on his ankle a little bit and has limited his time on the field. But we've got high hopes for him.
Coming up to the end of the 13th over here, I imagine, with it being this early in the morning, conditions on this pitch, maybe 160, 170 was a par score. Perhaps maybe a few less than that this morning.
Yeah, another good piece of bowling there. Cramping Marlon up. Looks like he's got a little bit of a rib tickler there. Yeah, 160 would probably be about right. Well, you see on this ground, par scores, it's all very well setting yourself for a par score, but you get one bloke that gets in for for 4 or 5 overs and has a bit of a day out, and your par score goes out the window. So it's one of those pitches that, as we saw in the first game, even if you get 200, you don't really feel confident that you can defend it with any real assurity, because it's just so difficult to defend, and you have one guy have a day out, and your score's blown out the window.
Some of the big tall buildings that are around us here at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground, I've noticed here in Hong Kong is that the only way is up as far as buildings are concerned. I visited last night the Kowloon Cricket Club, which I think is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my entire life.
It's a very, very nice club. Very, very nice club, based here on Kowloon. I'm a member of Hong Kong Cricket Club, so I'm always going to be a bit biased, and I think you probably need to head up there at some point. But yeah, both clubs, Hong Kong Cricket Club and Kowloon Cricket Club, are outstanding sports clubs, multi-sport. So we see Ehsan Khan into the attack and starts off with a wide down the leg side. Yeah, multi-sport clubs, but primarily focused around cricket, and do a lot for cricket here in Hong Kong. Youth cricket, a lot of them have large numbers of young players playing the game, and them combined with Pakistan Association and Little Saiwan, USRC, which is a United Services Recreation Club, really do have the backbone of youth cricket, in particular in Hong Kong. They're a bit different to normal village clubs back in England.
Well, there's fine dining and a lovely bar, and I had to be signed in by a member for me to go in there. It was, yeah, really salubrious surroundings.
Yeah, four or 5 restaurants generally in each club, of varying types: Chinese, as you say, Western fine dining, swimming pool, gym, tennis courts, bowls, greens. KCC have turf nets, which is outstanding. National team can use those, but they use those at 7 in the morning. So we're used to 7 a.m. starts.
Another very decent shot from Marlon Samuels. Works that one round the corner for 4 runs, down in front of the Peroni tent there.
Yeah, Ehsan Khan just getting a little bit too fine down the leg side, and Tamer Afzal unable to pick that up on this really fast outfield.
Of course, Kowloon Cricket Club famous for being the host of the Hong Kong Sixes for all those years.
Yeah, that's right, and it comes back in October. Marlon hits that one down towards long on. Yeah, that's back in October. They had a break for a while. I think 2012 was the last that was Sixes. It was a shame because I arrived in 2013, so I've never seen one. I'm looking forward to October this year.
Another very decent ball from Ehsan Khan, tucks up Zaidi. Yeah, I'm already scoping out an invitation to come back, to be honest.
Yeah, get in Max's pocket, and I think you could probably find yourself on a plane back here. It's always an amazing weekend, I'm told. We've seen lots of rugby sevens, and that's coming up soon. The rugby sixes is the cricket sixes is also supposed to be a fantastic event held at Kowloon Cricket Club. We have international teams come in, play 6-a-side competition, based over 3 days. Lots of fans can get up close and personal to the stars of international cricket. Watch them hit some very, very big balls, and it's actually played on probably a smaller ground than this once they get the stands in there and package it in, the actual grandstands. I mean, the boundaries are around sort of 55 metres all the way around. See the score, the Cantons moving on to 98 for 3 with 6 overs to go. They've consolidated well, but I think they probably need to go at about 10s now. Probably have to look at that.
Another very decent ball, tucking up the batsman, and it's gone for 4 runs. I did not think for a minute that he timed that well enough to go for 4. Very decent effort on the boundary by Daniel Pascoe, but not enough to save that from going to 4 runs.
Yeah, that's why it's a bit of a bowler's nightmare, this ground, because he's actually bowled a really good ball there. And on any other ground, that's probably only going to be 1 or maybe 2. But here, because of the short nature of the of the straight boundaries, particularly at Kyle Christie's end at the moment. He's got himself 4 runs. Yeah, and almost a carbon copy. Dan Pascoe tidying up this time. And they're really looking to accelerate now. They're probably going to try and go at 10s for these last 6 overs to get them up near that 160 mark. Maybe if they can get a bit more, it gives them, like we saw yesterday with the JD Jaguars, it gives them that fighting chance. And it gives them a little bit of breathing space for that guy who does have a bit of a day out for a period, that they can cope with it. Again, gun barrel straight shot. With George Munsey coming round, he's patrolled mid-on and mid-off, or long on and long off for the Hong Kong Island team on all the games here. It's like a specialist fielding position for him, so he just traces from long on to long off.
That's where you need to have your best fielders in this form of the game. But yeah, he's a very, very decent fielder. Scotland international, of course. And that one again is carved away into the leg side. It's going to trickle over the boundary for 4 more runs onto the DTC mobile Toblerones.
Yeah, he's got a bit unlucky there as he's scooped it over square leg. He's got a deep mid-wicket out, but with the ball going over deep square, it's just going to run away for 4. Thick inside edge. And this over is really starting to change that momentum for the Cantons, and they're starting to move forward as Misbah has a chat with Kyle Christie. It's going to be a field change. You're going to go bringing a man across from the offside. We're going to have two or 3 men out on that leg side boundary. As they reinforce that leg side boundary. Probably bowl nice and straight here. Just get him to poke it out into mid-wicket. Opportunity to run 2 if they want it. And there he goes. It's just going to be 1 run, I think, out to Munir Dar.
Excellent partnership in the first game between Munir Dar and Misbah. 2 men in their 40s with some brilliant running for 2s.
It just goes to show that age isn't a barrier. It's about judgment and understanding when you can push for 2s and when you can't. He really did change that innings and allowed Misbah to play at the pace that he wanted to play at and then launch at the end.
You say that age isn't a barrier, but when I was pulling my rotting carcass out of bed this morning this early, it felt like it was.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. Having just turned 40 myself, it's definitely more of a challenge getting out of bed in the morning.
Celebrating my birthday here in Hong Kong on Monday before I fly home.
Oh, very nice. Where are you going to go?
I think I'm going to go to China.
Very nice. Get on the train, a couple of hours up there.
Never been, another stamp in the passport.
Absolutely. Get across to Macau as well.
Oh, I don't think Macau's for me. I don't think I'm quite enough of a high roller. As we see the scorecard come up, Marlon Samuels 30 not out, Asher Zaidi 26 not out, 5 overs to go. As you were saying, maybe if they could get 10 and over from here and end up with 160, they'd be absolutely delighted with that. Any more than that and they'll feel like they've got a real chance. Yeah,
and how they're going to do that is by them going nice and hard here, both of them. And if one gets out, then either Zaidi or Marlon Samuels needs to stay in right to the end. It's going to allow them just to keep going nice and hard at one end, take on these short boundaries, and get themselves up to that 160, which they're probably going to need. Ehsan Nawaz. Yeah, I think that's going to miss leg stump. As Ehsan Khan is into his last over.
Yeah.
Pitched outside leg stump.
Pitched the long way outside leg stump. A rather ambitious appeal.
Oh, he's got a bit full on him here, and Marlon Samuels down the track. Flat, straight 6. As he really looks to start to accelerate here. You know, 180's not, if Marlon bats for these last overs, 180's not out of the range.
comes down the pitch there. Dragged down a bit by the bowler. Brilliant piece of timing for that to split the two fielders. Munir Dar and Saeed Ajmal out on the boundary, straight between the two of them.
Yeah, this is going to be a big time now. So we speak about, with the national team, we do a lot of talking about trying to identify critical periods and trying to identify them going forwards in the future. And this is one of those periods now where they really need to try and get a wicket here to stem the flow of runs, because these two are going to come really, really hard in these last few overs as we see another. It's only going to be a single out to deep cover.
Another very decent piece of fielding there by George Munsey.
Yeah, and brings Zaidi onto strike, and I think he's going to be looking to try and hit something similar to Marlon Samuels. He's going to try and take on mid-wicket or the straight boundary, wherever he can. Bit of a hack out to deep mid-wicket. Dan Pascoe just tidying up there. This has been a good over for the Cantons so far.
End of this over, I'm going to be replaced. Max Abbott, tournament director, is going to come in and sit down and take over from me.
Yeah, and back of a length ball by Ehsan Khan. A very, very good over there.
I'll see you guys shortly. Here's Max.
So Cantons starting to really increase their scoring rate here, coming to the last phase of this game. And we're going to see Carl Christie on again. He's going to probably have to start mixing up his lines and lengths a little bit here, otherwise he could find that it could be quite expensive.
There's that points table, the all-important points table. All to play for, very even. You can see here the Kowloon Cantons and Hong Kong Island United, both on the same points, played the same matches. So this next 24 overs is going to be very important in the outcome of the final. Hammered down the ground by Marlon Samuels, and Munsey puts his body on the line to save the boundary.
Yeah, Carl's probably quite happy there. Just conceded one run, get Marlon off strike. Bowler Zaidi now for a bit. Yeah, the Cantons losing that game yesterday to the Jaguars kind of really threw it all open and put everyone on the same amount of points, and meant that this game in particular became very, very important, almost a final. Good full ball. It's going to get four though. It's going to get four. Diving effort by Dan Pascoe down at deep long on, and again we're seeing these short boundaries are really starting to come to the fore here. Whereas normally a desperate dive there by Dan Pascoe. Normally that would only be one run. It's going to be a pressure time here for Carl Christie. For 5 off 2 balls, and they're really starting to tick now, both of these batters for the Kowloon Cantons.
What sort of score, Cookie? What are they happy with?
I reckon they've got to get at 160. We were saying earlier, but as we see Carl Christie coming into bowl here, better length, bit of variation.
Oh, crazy throw.
Not on these boundaries. Boundary's not big enough to get a 2 overthrow. We were saying earlier that you need 160 as a minimum, but actually it's your pass scores here. It's quite hard to judge a pass score, because you have one player who has a bit of a day out, which we saw Dwayne Smith have, and actually your pass score goes completely out the window. So you need 160. You need enough runs on the board so a guy can have a bit of a day out, but you've got a bit of runs in the bank. As you see, Marlon Samuels just setting up. He's hanging right back in the crease. He's looking to try and flat bat the ball, either back straight or over extra cover.
Yeah, you can see on that shot before as well, our virtual lads displaying. You wouldn't believe it, but what's being displayed on your screens there is not what's on in the ground, thanks to some pretty futuristic technology.
Oh yeah, just looking across to my right here, it's just a
magenta board, but into your screens we've got all sorts of animations and different sponsor logos. That's hammered down the ground by Zadie, but he'll just get the one. Pascoe, a little fumble won't cost him a run.
Yeah, momentum's really starting to change now. These two really starting to get going. You get the feeling that Marlon's probably going to have to bat all the way through here for them to get up to that 160 and above. And if he does, then they might be in the 180 range. Only got one over side Ajmal left. So might have to find another over from Tamer Afzal.
Oh, hammered, that's out of here. Marlon Samuels.
Well, we see, you said just before, he's just trying to hang back in the crease, trying to bash it back straight.
What a shot from Marlon. That's in his arc. Just over pitching Kyle Christie. Oh, that has disappeared into the apartment blocks.
Those regulation balls doing their job, not being quite so hard. They don't fly quite as far.
Yeah, when one of those locals goes down to get their car out of the garage, they might have a T20 Blitz cricket ball lodged into their boot.
Yeah, there might be a bit of damage down there, but yeah, we can't unfortunately get those balls that go that side. We can get them when they go into the softball end.
Been quite fortunate so far. Most of the sixes have been hit into the softball courts. Maybe changing today with the knowledge that there will be softballers actually on those courts throughout today.
Has that been a directive that's come through from Cricket Hong Kong?
We did encourage it. It's very hard to control, Simon. Just told bowlers to save their half volleys for the softball court end.
See Syed Ajmal into the attack now, and I think it's a smart move here by Misbah. He's trying to break this partnership now, just to try and stem the flow of runs here. If he can get a wicket here, one of these two, he's got half a chance of trying to restrict the Cantons to under 160. Been impressive in this tournament, Saeed. He's bowled with very good control, a little bit of spin. He's been smart. Well, very good ball again. Not letting Zaidi get anywhere near the ball. Fancy stumping. Stumping might happen here against Zaidi.
He's been the bowler of the tournament for mine so far, Ajmal.
Yeah, 100%.
Very accurate, hard to get away, and just seems to spin it when he likes and goes straight on when it suits.
Subtle variations. The thing is, his lines and his lengths have been so good. Toe of the bat. Toe of the bat by Marlon, out to deep backward square. Hassan Khan tidying up. Again, that was nearly the wicket that the Hong Kong Island United would like to see. He's still in pretty good control here. If the Cantons can get out of this over with 10 or so off, they'll be happy. Oh, it's going to be a wide. Jamie Atkinson not able to get that. He's saved 3 byes there.
Marlon Samuels to 50 there as well. I didn't see much of it.
We were saying on commentary, he just sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
You don't really realise where he's got his runs from, but he's incredibly effective. It's going to be another wide down the leg side. The pressure even gets to seasoned international cricketers.
Yeah, we don't need the wides either. We've got to get these 3 games in today.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, extra balls aren't gonna help here.
Well.
Oh, that's in the arc, but it's straight up in the air. Getting around. Ajmal's getting underneath it. It's swirling around. That's a fantastic catch. What a catch from Syed Ajmal. It's breezy here today. And Marlon Samuels, as he was hitting across the line, therefore, it put a lot of spin on the ball too. That is a fantastic catch. You can see Ajmal motioning that it was wobbling around everywhere.
Yeah, it's good. He took responsibility, didn't he? Like you say, swirling catch. It's actually a very, very good catch. And he's very happy, and he knows exactly what that means to his team. With Marlon Samuels, dangerous Marlon Samuels, just gone to 50. He could have taken the game away from Hong Kong Island United if he'd batted for these last 18 balls or so.
Yeah, great batting from Marlon Samuels, 50 off 35 balls. It's a very useful innings, 3 sixes.
We see Waqas Khan coming out now. Shahid Wasif batted ahead of him, and Yasser Arafat batted ahead of him in the first game, and he came out and got 10 away off of 2 balls, and so it's prompted a promotion in the order for him. I think against Syed Ajmal, you might see a few sweeps, get himself off the mark, get himself set, and then you'll probably look to see him targeting the boundary. But Zaidi needs to now probably bat right to the end. The Cantons don't need 2 new men in here, otherwise they get in danger of stalling.
It's up in the air. Has he got enough on it? It's going to go all the way. 6 runs. Syed Ajmal realised he wasn't far away. Zaidi, this has been a gem of little innings here. He moves to 40 off just 22 balls.
Yeah, I'm quite sure how he's got that there. The ball right outside off stump, spinning away, and he seems to have still been able to scoop it down around just wide of deep mid-wicket. Ajmal in again. It's going to be another wide. It's not going to help you the second game that's on here today.
Yeah, they're shaving the change of innings to 10 minutes. They're trying to shave minutes everywhere. We started 2 minutes without letting broadcast know this morning. It's just all every minute that can be saved because of this cloudy weather. We realise that getting to 6 o'clock is going to be a challenge. So I think it's good to see common sense prevailing and trying to shift matches forward so we get all the overs in today.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to have the last game in particular compromised
It's very
by
important
bad
to some
line.
people.
You don't want to see the game compromised by bad light or Doug Lewis coming into the equation. Waqas faces his first ball, tries to get a single but gets sent back. I think it's going to be the teams coming in the next game are going to have to be smart about their preparation, getting ready.
We just need to keep an eye on Imran Arif for the Jaguars. He took 8 minutes to bowl an over yesterday. Just kind of nudges that out to the offside for a single. This has been a long over. It's over now. 151 for 4 after 18. So the Cantons, well, I suppose they'll settle for 170, but still could go beyond that.
Yeah, they're going to get to that 160 mark, which is probably a competitive score. But like we've been saying, it's the X factor of the ground. You have a guy having a day out, and that score gets blown out the window. So we look at the scorecard with 3 guys getting in and then getting out, with Dwayne Smith, Bubba Hyatt just falling into the 20s. Marlon Samuels just got out, 50 off 36 balls. And Zaidi is playing nicely here, 40 from 22. He really needs to stay in for the remainder of this innings if they're going to get up to that 170 mark.
As you can see the fog in the background there. March, apparently the cloudiest month of the year.
Is that right?
Well, that's edged, was it? Thought I heard a noise.
It's a little bit of a risk with that length, but Carl Christie's extracted a little bit more bounce than anyone else on this pitch so far in this innings.
Been impressed with his death bowling, Kyle Christie. That's quick for Kyle. He's good pace.
Yeah, definitely.
Got through, he's hurried Waqas Khan there.
Yeah, he has, and he's shown he's smart. Whether he's spoken to Misbah but he's changed what he's bowling. He's tried to bowl Yorkers before and they've not quite worked, and now he's got mid-off up and he's changing his length a little bit. So we'll see this length now, I think, with Wakas Khan. Whether they stick to the same plan for Zaidi, I'm not sure.
One plan I don't feel like we've witnessed much of has been the wide Yorker.
No, that's right. You haven't seen many wide Yorkers. A lot of the Yorkers have been targeted in at the stumps and trying to cramp the batters. And there are certain batters in particular that probably would warrant bowling wider Yorkers at, which you man on your screen there, Misbah. He's been very, very successful at picking people off when they're bowling at the stumps. No one's gone wider the crease or wide Yorkers at him, particularly when he's batting at the end. And he's been very, very destructive towards the end of his 2 innings that he's got. And he's got 80, I think, in both games that he's played.
He's on
a lot of conversation here about the field and who's going where and what they're going to do. And it looks like at the end of the day, they've opted for the same plan as Wakas Khan. So mid-off up, and they just stack the onside field. So you should see a shorter ball, back of a length in at the hip.
So down the leg side, they are overtime here in this first game.
Is that the first time? So Misbah's going to get a warning.
He'll get a warning.
We've seen him in one game here. I think the JD Jaguars captain, Kinshit Shah, is going to miss out on his game today for a slow over rate yesterday. Second warning for him. I think Misbah's taking the line that he's over now, so it doesn't matter how far he goes over, he can only get warned once. Ball, slow ball bouncer, and Wakas Khan threw his shot very, very early. Just needs to stay calm here, Wakas. Keep watching the ball. He knows it's going to be short. Just needs to keep focused on what he needs to do. And Carl Christie, very impressive. He's changed his plans and he's able to execute. Got hold of that one. Out towards the mid-wicket boundary. This is the danger with this plan, is it can become a little bit predictable. And Wakas Khan doing exactly what we were just talking about there. Waiting, and resulted in him being able to get it up and over deep square leg. Wakas Khan, not renowned for being a big hitter, but he's really developed over the last 6-7 months his batting skill in his areas that he can hit. He's one of the best timers of a cricket ball in the Hong Kong national team. One of the youngest as well. Youngest player ever to play T20 international cricket. Still only 17 years old.
So gone full, probably lucky to get away with it in there, half volley.
Yeah, it just goes to show he's gone that back of a length route, and then it allows you potentially to slip that one up there underneath the batter, and you're not maybe going to get taken out because they're not trying to line you up to hit straight.
Well, there's a guy who is going to play a key role in this run chase for Hong Kong Island United. It won't be Kyle Christie. But Misbah ul Haq, the Hong Kong Island United skipper.
So Carl Christie finishing there, 4 overs, 448, 49. Not a bad effort considering he's bowled at critical times. Into the last over here. Saeed Ajmal to finish out. See the sweep. And 1 run to Zaidi, who I feel will probably try and have a violent swing towards deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, big over this one. If they can sort of keep it under 10, I think Hong Kong Island United will feel well in the game. If a couple of sixes and get up towards 180, then I think the Cantons will feel as though it's their advantage.
Yeah, I think 160 we saw was a good score yesterday. What's going to be a wide. 160 was a good score yesterday. The Misbar effect will come into the equation with Hong Kong Island United. I think if they can get Cantons can get Misbar early, I think they feel they're right in the game. But if he's batting towards the end, it could be in a bit of trouble.
That would have been a wide as well.
It's so good to see these guys here. Misbar in particular is captaining this side, and how he goes about his business is cool, is calm. Nothing seems to faze him.
The ball straight up in the air. I think this will be caught. It should be caught, and is. Dan Pascoe takes the catch. Another wicket for Saeed Ajmal. This time he didn't have to get under the swirling ball.
Yeah, and we see another example of batters coming down and going across the ball. So he's hit across that. He's actually almost trying to hit that through mid-wicket in terms of the plane of his swing. And it only really results in balls going up rather than distance. Whereas we watched a lot of the guys, Dwayne Smith, Misbar, guys who've been successful in this tournament so far, the swing of their bat has gone through the line of the ball, not across the line of the ball. Oh, it's going to be a wide, I think. He's conceded quite a few wides here, Saeed Ajmal, in these last 2 overs that he's bowled. He's trying to keep the ball away from Zaid's stumps almost.
Darted that one in. So I got into the gap for 4. I didn't think he'd timed that very well, Zodi, but he's picked the gap.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying there, is trying to keep it away from the stumps, because Zaid's very strong swinging it over the mid-wicket boundary, so he's trying to stay away from the stumps, and unfortunately he's not got his line quite right. You see a couple of wide balls down the offside. It does force the bowler into coming a little bit straighter. It's not where he wants to be. No idea what happened there. Couldn't see anything, but looks like he's gone straight, and Zaid has had a bit of a wild swing at that, and Kowloon Cantons lose their in batter with a couple of balls to go in the innings, and the 170 mark looks a little bit of a stretch from this point. So Shahid Wasif makes his way to the wicket. Change of bat for him. Looks like he's got one of Bubba Hyatt's New Balance bats. And,
What's happened there? He's not normally a...
I'm not sure. Maybe he just feels he needs a change of tack.
Is this Bubba's bat, is it?
I have no idea, but it looks like one of Bubba's. Might have knocked up with it this morning and thought, quite fancy hitting a ball out the ground with it.
It's
not
a
really
wild swing straight in the air. That's going to be...
Not really worked for him.
Yeah, that's gone.
Really worked for him. That's a wild swing, and again we see the ball, we see the batsman swinging across the line of the ball rather than through the line of the ball, and it's a pretty easy dismissal for Saeed Ajmal, who picks up another wicket and reinforces the fact that he is the bowler of the tournament at the moment.
That was the earlier wicket of Zaidi that we missed just earlier, but and so 2 wickets to finish the innings for Ajmal. We'll have to try and remember he's on a hat-trick. First ball of his game tomorrow. Saeed Ajmal. So 168, I'd suggest that's right about on par.
Yep, probably about, on par, competitive. Man has a day out though with these small boundaries. It can be very difficult to defend, but 8 runs per over, 8.4 runs per over required by the Hong Kong United team. And I think they'll be reasonably confident if Misbah Al Haq can bat a significant part of the innings. And we see the Cantons innings just held together really by 51 from Marlon Samuels and 46 from Ashir Zaidi. And they just about get up to a competitive score.
So as we see some pictures of the apartment blocks, people waking up here in Hong Kong, looking out their window and seeing the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. We'll be back with the run chase of Hong Kong Island United in around 5 minutes' time. Join us then.
All right, yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome.
What a start to this run chase. George Munsey, very hard-hitting batsman from Scotland, just plays pretty much exclusively in their T20 team. And, for that reason, it indicates that he likes to get on with it. Have you enjoyed things so far, Saeed?
Absolutely, it's been a brilliant tournament so far. Getting to see all these lovely stars and the local players as well playing brilliantly here in this tournament.
It's hammered through the offside. That's going to be another boundary. George Munsey, the early start not worrying him. He's warming to the task in this very first over. Puts the pressure on the Cantons.
Pitching it short there, Yasser Arafat. Bowled really well yesterday. Was pick of the bowler. Good player this, George Munsey. Good ball to continue with. Hong Kong Island United looking to chase down 169. It's a good total. Got the batting. Just have to apply. They've got the master batsman Misbah-ul Haq, who's been in prime form during this tournament.
That's timed sweetly again through the covers. That's the best shot so far. And Hong Kong Island United off to a flyer in this crucial DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz match.
Another fantastic shot by Munsey. He looks in good touch actually throughout the tournament.
And Hong Kong Island will be just hoping he can go on with it. He's sort of got some good starts, but hasn't been able to kick on.
Absolutely, he looks good at the back foot. Another fantastic shot pulled away for another boundary for Hong Kong United.
Expensive start from Yasser Arafat. That's really just taken the pressure off Kong Island United. Set required rate down underneath 8 and over. Got the Star Wars face mask on again from Shahid Wasif.
One of the attractive feature in this tournament, his face mask.
It's been making headlines. Shahid Wasif.
Definitely. I've been very impressed with this bowler, Ashar Zaidi.
Look at that mask. That's hammered from Jamie Atkinson. That is vintage from him. There was a slight hand that put to the ball, which prevented it from going to the boundary. But that's a vintage shot from Jamie Atkinson, former Hong Kong captain. A positive start here from Hong Kong Island United.
Got a hand to it, should have picked that up. It's hard. Very impressive player this, Ashar Zaidi, who's bowled and batted really well throughout the tournament. Another fantastic boundary. Jamie Atkinson. Wide ball, half volley, outside off stump. Slashed away hard.
in the air, but it's been creamed past the fielder to the boundary. And the masked man trying to encourage Shahid Wasif. But at this stage, it's the Cantons under pressure.
Probably asking him to bowl a bit back of the length. All three balls being bowled up to the batsman.
Looped up from Zaidi, but Atkinson just gets it off the outside edge. It goes for a single.
No time score, moving on to 22. Good start here for Hong Kong Island United.
This game absolutely crucial. Standing these two teams on played 2, 1-1, lost 1.
One of the favorite teams in the tournament would be Kowloon Cantons. Got some big names, big stars. Had a fantastic first game with Dwayne Smith scoring one of the fastest century that you would ever see. Did not do as well as expected in the previous game, but here to win a game. Let's wait and watch what happens.
And there he is, Shahid Wasif. What do you think of that mask? Do let us know.
An interesting mask. Looks more like an ice hockey.
For defence. Very technically correct from Jamie Atkinson.
Probably got enough runs on this over, so just want to keep it safe.
I just think we might just see that again because we haven't seen many of them. Just see, look at this. Solid forward defence from Jamie Atkinson. That's just one for the test match lovers. The purists that have come into the ground today applauding.
Showing everybody that there is much more cricket than just boundaries and sixes as well in this tournament.
And I don't know if you're aware watching at home, but it is quite early. But that hasn't stopped our fans from making plenty of noise. Those Kowloon Canton supporters have been blowing whistles and banging banners together. Have branded up their tent very nicely there, the Kowloon Cantons, right next to the Hong Kong Island United box. So I'm sure the noise they're making is perhaps just itching the competitive spirit.
Absolutely. It's been fantastic crowd here throughout the tournament. Early start today, but we've got the crowd coming in quite early. Good support for both the teams here. Support for the local players as well as the international stars as well. Good ball to begin with.
So Tanvir Ahmed coming in to replace Yasser Arafat. It was a bit expensive in his first over.
George Munse would be hoping for anything short, which would be dispatched.
Not a great delivery from Tanvir Ahmed there. Short and wide down the leg side.
I don't know what he was thinking. Saw the batsman walking up. Tried to bowl closer to his pads, but went really far away.
Full ball, that's up in the air. And it's one bounce. And 4 runs. George Munzi cutting loose here.
Another ball pitched up, right up to the batsman. Slashed it really hard. 1 bounce 4 for George Munse. Key for the bowlers to be bowling just back of the length to these batsmen. Hong Kong Island United already off to a good start.
That's up in the air, should be taken, and is. The first wicket falls for Hong Kong Island United. George Munzi once again looking dangerous. Hasn't been able to go on with it. Looks back at the pitch, but I think he just tried to turn his hands on that one a little too soon. A wicket for Tanvir Ahmed.
Definitely again, George Munce getting a good start. Unable to capitalize on that. Soft dismissal. I think the ball just held up. Didn't come onto the bat quite well as he expected. A good breakthrough for Kowloon Cantons. Score was moving along quite swiftly.
Well, what a quality player to have stride out at number 3, Ian Bell. He's recovered from a foot injury. There were fears he'd fractured his foot, but scans have cleared him, and he's fronting up for Hong Kong Island United today, and he will play a key role. But, has he got any strapping or anything on there to protect himself? Doesn't look like it. So all good with Ian Bell. And I'm sure Hong Kong Island United hoping he can be the one to support Misbah ul Haq and relieve some of the pressure that's been placed on their captain in each game.
Yes, absolutely. A world-class player, Ian Bell. Played some fantastic knocks all over the world. Misbah would definitely need some his experience to get on with getting some good runs there for his team. Edged and singled down to third man. Good bowling there.
I'll be glad to get off the mark, Ian Bell. You just want to get himself going after missing out in the opening match. He does score a lot of runs down in that third man region.
Yes, guided that one down to third man. Jamie Atkinson with the last ball defense in the previous over. Got to be itching to get a boundary or two in this over. We're in the third over. It's already moved on to 33 for 1.
Oh, that's nipped in sharply. That was big movement from Tanvir Ahmed. We haven't seen many move that far off the seam. That really cut back sharply at Jamie Atkinson. We'll have another look at that.
Definite big movement there. I think that's what got George Munce as well. Ball pitching and deviating quite sharply.
The leave from Jamie Atkinson ends the over. 34 for 1 after 3 overs. Look like we're in for a great game to kick off Super Saturday here in the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. DTC Mobile, the title sponsors here of this tournament, been fantastic in setting this up. See our virtual ads on display there. New technology here, groundbreaking technology. DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz as Yasser Arafat looks like he's swapped ends after getting hit around for a few by George Munsey in the opening over.
Yes, he bowled exceptionally well in the last game, bowling from that end.
But just to clarify, I'm not receiving phones for plugs of DTC Mobile. I'm merely just happy that to have a sponsor supporting the Blitz. But maybe if I keep plugging, I can score myself one of those tablets or phones. Not that, maybe those small ones. I'm looking for the tablet. Would be good.
Absolutely, wouldn't mind getting one yourself. Good ball again, Yasser Arafat. Bowled really well from that end in the previous game as well. So I guess that's the whole plan of getting him to change and getting him bowling from this end, which is the soft rock end. Beg your pardon.
Line rock.
Softball
courts and line rock.
Yeah.
Only rocks in the softball court will be the cricket balls flying in there later on today. Oh, good delivery. Ian Bell, you can see just struggling with his foot there. He's not 100%. I think if we take another look at this, you'll see that Ian Bell's feet just don't really move. Just played inside it.
That's the line and that's the length to be bowling ideally on this wicket, especially in the first 6 overs, the power play.
So, classy flick off the hip from Ian Bell. Just pick up an easy single. You see the Peroni Boundary Club already starting to take its first guess. Still pre-10 o'clock. I did see the girlfriend of one of the Cricket Hong Kong staff ordering beers at 8 o'clock this morning.
That's an early start for sure. Lovely atmosphere here.
I look forward to having some camera shots of that Peroni Boundary Club later this afternoon. Should be some great entertainment. If the cricket does become a little dull, we'll have the Peroni Boundary Club as our backup option. Oh, well bowled from Jamie Atkinson.
Bowling really well here from this end. Yasir Arafat. First over bowling from the other end, gave away 3 boundaries. Realized that he's much better off with the soft ball court end.
You see that Peroni Boundary Club. If you're in there, still pre-10 o'clock, so we're not judging anyone who's already made the early start, but they are held very highly in my books. So now to Marlon Samuels for a single. For now, it's more entertaining on the field, so we'll stick with the cricket, and that is the end of the over. 36 for 1 after 4 overs. Run rate required, very manageable at the moment. 0.3, I think the Hong Kong Island United side will be feeling pretty comfortable while they've got wickets in hand.
Yes, definitely. Still to follow the skipper, Misbah-ul Haq. What a player, what a tournament he's been having. 2 matches, both matches getting big runs.
That's up in the air, hasn't got all of it. Jamie Atkinson should be caught, but he's tripped over. Still taking the catch. Marlon Samuels, foot got stuck in the turf just as he was going to take that catch. But in the end, he's the quality of his hands. We've watched the reactions here of Hong Kong Island United.
Definitely a fantastic catch in the end.
Jamie Atkinson not happy with himself. But a big wicket, and Kowloon Cantons have responded well after getting a bit of early punishment from George Munsey as Tanvir Afzal comes out at number 4. Not seen him come out in the power play before, normally down at number 7 or 8 to hit big bombs at the end of the innings, but looks like they're going to send him up to try and make the use of this field of being up.
Still got some good batting here, Hong Kong Island United. We've got Misbah-ul Haq coming in next, I guess. We've got the big hitter Munir Dar as well. He played a very good game in the first match that Hong Kong Island United played. Scored a quick fire 35-40 runs. He's getting younger every tournament, every year.
Up, sent back. Tanvir Afzal looking for the quick single. Ian Bell sent him back.
Ashar Zaidi, the fielder at short fine leg, unable to pick it up cleanly. Last couple of overs have got very few runs. Hong Kong Island United would have hoped for a couple of boundaries before the power play.
Cut away from Ian Bell, but straight to the fielder. Yeah, it was a remarkable catch in the end from Marlon Samuels. At one stage, I thought he was going to put it down when he tripped over. But in the end, he did very well to steady himself after falling over. I'm not sure if we'll pick up the fall. I think it was about now where he falls and manages to still keep his eye on the ball and take the catch. Short delivery and pulled out to the deep square leg fieldsman.
Single to Ian Bell. Looking to get settled down first. Fantastic player, Ian Bell. Right, Tanvir Afzal on strike now. Can hit some big sixes.
Tanvir Afzal, he's made his intentions very clear from ball one. That's the way he plays. Tanvir Afzal generally doesn't have too many siders. A bit like you, Ibrez.
We saw Tanvir playing some big ones yesterday. Really enjoyed him hitting some sixes out of the park. Definitely can tonk the ball. I guess that's the plan for the next couple of overs before the power play ends, get some sixes going.
He did hit 30 runs in an over on this ground just over a year ago in a T20 against Scotland. Oh, the ball's just almost dragged his foot out too there, Tanvir Afzal, but not a fantastic shot, but certainly swinging hard enough.
Good bowling this by Tanvir Ahmed, actually. Getting some seam movement. Bowled 2 good overs so far, considering the fact that bowling in the power play, bowled really well. Not giving away any freebies at all. We saw Misbah-ul-Haq in the last 2 games pacing his innings really well. Started off slowly, but then in the end, getting massive sixes, especially the last 2 overs of the innings. So Hong Kong Island United would be hoping for the same result as well. Misbah-ul-Haq getting another 50 and getting the team to victory today. Dwayne Smith, the new bowler, missing out today, was looking good.
Yeah, you have posted an Instagram picture this morning asking a question about who plays cricket at 7:45. Well, the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz does. Dwayne?
Definitely.
Catch? No! Edge, but Shahid Wasif was going the wrong way down the leg side and he couldn't adjust his balance. Take the catch and a streaky boundary for Ian Bell.
Good bounce for Dwayne Smith.
Just anticipated incorrectly there, Shahid Wasif. And Bubba Hyatt there at first slip. He wasn't happy.
Smile on Ian Bell's face as well. Lucky boundary. Trying to play on the rise, straight to mid-off.
Yeah, very upset the Cantons were with that missed chance from Shahid Wasif. Take a look at Dwayne Smith's reaction. Yeah, he wasn't overly pleased there, Dwayne. Short delivery and smashed out to deep mid-wicket for Ian Bell. So the edge that should have been a catch goes for 4. And then Ian Bell just rubs salt in a little further.
Would have been a lot different when Ian Bell would have been caught. World-class player and shouldn't be giving him chances. Could be costly for Kowloon Cantons. Played away down to third man for a single. Ian Bell slowly getting into the groove here. Nod of the head from Dwayne Smith. Definitely not happy with the catch put down. Would have definitely wanted Ian Bell's wicket. Last 2 balls to go of this power play. Tanvir Afzal on strike. Oh, fantastic delivery. No feet movement from Tanvir. Missing that out completely. So that's the end of the over. After 6 overs, score moves on to 46 for the loss of 2 wickets. Welcome, Matt, to the commentary box.
Yeah, thank you, Ibs, and thank you to our viewers around the world. Fantastic to be here in Hong Kong on this sunny Saturday morning. Match very evenly poised here at the moment. Hong Kong I lost to 2 wickets, 46 runs. Looking to chase down 169. I guess it all hinges on Ian Bell, Ibs. What do you think?
Absolutely. Very important player in this match. Ian Bell, if he plays on for about 10 to 12 overs, then Mesbah Haq can come over and the later batsman can go ahead and finish the game. But it's very important, this partnership which needs to go on for the next 4 or 5 overs.
Yes, agreed. The power play just over here, it's really about these two working it round for the next 5 overs and keeping the scoreboard ticking, setting it up for those players at the end to come in and finish the job. So interesting to see how it goes from here. We got Tanvir Ahmed coming in, bowling very well, getting a bit of movement off the deck. I saw a bit earlier.
Yes, he's been bowling fantastically this match. Bowling his 3rd over, getting another thick outside edge, probably guided to 3rd man. Ian Bell taking some time to get settled, coming back after an injury. Fans would love to watch Ian Bell perform here in this DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz.
Yeah, that's true, Ibs. I've had a couple of fans from the boundary asking if Ian can wander around and sign some autographs. I had to reply with probably not right now because he's out there batting, but I'm sure someone like Ian Bell will go around to the kids after the conclusion of this game and make their days. So Tanvir Ahmed here runs in, looking to bowl. Tanvir Afzal's just looked a little scratchy here early. No, he's probably been sent up the order to get on with the game. And another play and miss from Tanvir Afzal. Very well bowled, Tanvir Ahmed. Just hitting that length, isn't he? Just that back of a length and letting the pitch do the work for him.
Absolutely, he's been bowling brilliantly in this game so far. Bowling his 3rd over. A lot of seam movement there, off the pitch. Not giving any freebies away to the batsman. Probably bowled only 1 ball which was bowled up to the batsman and George Munsey got a boundary of him. Barring that, he's been bowling very well.
Tanvir looks to go big there, just shanks it into the mid-wicket boundary, and they've a big appeal there for run out. Pleading with them. Looks like he may have made it, but a very big appeal there, wasn't it? Very big appeal.
Yeah, fantastic throw, direct hit. Would have been a close call.
The umpire looked in perfect position. We're going to hopefully get a replay up here for you now. And here we go, just shanks it into the mid-wicket region, and brilliant bit of fielding from Baba Hyatt here, throwing on one step, and he looked to have the bat down. Tough to see from that angle, but
seemed like he was in.
Fielders were very excited.
The previous game as well, Babar got a run out from mid-on with the direct hit. Good shot, Ian Bell pacing through the gap. And effort in vain. A fantastic boundary for Ian Bell. Good timing there. Beating the fielder at cover. Ball just rolls down to the boundary at long off.
Very short boundaries here, straight at Mission Road. If you get it through the field, very difficult for anything for the fielder to do, chasing it down there. And Ian Bell looking very calm and collected here, looking like he knows what job he needs to do.
Yes, if you see that shot, that was merely just a push. Fantastic timing from Ian Bell. That's a good sign for Hong Kong Island United. Ian Bell in form, can't stop him. He's changing his helmet there, Tanvir Afzal. He's not too comfortable with the previous one.
Well, Ian Bell's always been renowned for his timing. Very elegant player to watch. All the Ashes series and various test matches and one days around the world. He's made a lot of runs, and it's great to have him at a tournament like this. Here comes Tanvir Ahmed and played into the offside for an easy single there by Ian Bell. Great batting, rotating the strike. And that'll be the... No, still one ball to come. Sorry, that is the end of the over there. Score moves up.
Good over by Tanveer, barring the boundary being given. He's bowled quite well in this game so far. So after 7 overs, score is 53 for the loss of 2 wickets. Ian Bell on strike. Run rate still pretty decent. Required run rate 8.9. Small ground, still manageable. Good to see a leggy bowling here in a T20 game. Always very effective. Drifting down the leg side, Mudassar Hussain.
Confusing us all up here in the commentary box, wearing the wrong number and trying to find him on the sheet, but we can confirm that is Mudassar Hussain bowling his leg spin. Tanveer Afzal on strike. Ooh, goes back there and tries to work it through backward point. Well, I've seen Tanveer bat a bit, and I think he's probably more, we could suggest maybe going down the ground to the short boundaries here and backing his eye and his ability to hit the cricket ball straight down the ground. But
I guess he's more comfortable playing the pacers rather than the spinners, especially Mudassar. Would be good to see how Mudassar ends up bowling here. Seems pretty good so far. Just bowled a few balls, but looks good, looks confident. Bowling in the right area, barring the wide he bowled this over.
advances there and can only pat it into the leg side, where a very scary looking Shahid wicketkeeper runs after the ball and fields it.
The talk of the town, Shahid's mask.
Have you ever seen anything like that before in your life, Ibs?
Only on Halloween nights. Very interesting, the crowd talking about it.
And Tanveer Afzal goes straight and straight into the alleyway behind the side screen there. Fantastic shot by Tanveer Afzal. Exactly what we were talking about earlier in the over. Back yourself and go straight down the ground of these short boundaries.
A bit of flight there. Not what is ideal for T20 cricket. Toss it up. Tanveer Afzal, much more than just a handy batsman. Hit that up straight out of the park.
And what's Mudassar Hussain going to answer with here? I mean, throwing it up, obviously, Tanveer Afzal gets above his eye line. He's going to want to take you straight down the ground, so expecting a quicker short one here, maybe.
Getting under the stumps, yes, of course. Try to minimize the damage that he's already given away at the 6.
That's very well bowled, pushing it into the legs there. And that'll end the over. 61 for 2 after 8 overs.
Today being a super Saturday here at DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. 3 games for the day. It's going to be an entertaining day. A lot of crowd going to be walking in. Still early right now. 9:45. We still have a good crowd in.
Yeah, the triple header. As we can see, the scoreboards come up here. George Munty again promised a lot. Couldn't capitalise on a start. 21 off 10. Jamie Atkinson in for his second game. Wicket keeping today. 12 off 10, and now these two have really looked to consolidate the innings before a push later on to try and get the HKI over the line. Change of bowling. Dwayne Smith returns. Very unlucky previously with a drop catch for Ian Bell. Hoping his fielders can back him up here and take the really important wicket event. Coming into bowl now. Just on the legs there, work down the fine leg off the, and that's going to be 4 leg buys. Fine leg up in the circle. Cannon fodder there for Ian Bell.
Score moving along to 65 for 2. Just over 100 runs needed for Hong Kong Island United. Got a good platform set here.
Just such a small margin for error here in a T20 game as Dwayne Smith tries to correct that error in this next ball. Well bowled and well played by Ian Bell. Turn him down for a run. Tanvir Afzal, the non-strikers. Looked to be an easy run there.
Should have been an easy single. But I guess Ashar Zaidi is pretty quick on the field. Been a very handy cricketer. Looks good with the ball, with the bat, and on the field as well. Probably that's one of the reasons why he's standing at covers right now.
Dwayne Smith comes into bowl again. It just works it down to third man. For a single, Tanvir Ahmed cleans up, bringing Tanvir Afzal on strike, who really did struggle earlier on with the pace bowling. Is fishing around outside that off stump. Was lucky not to get an edge early on. Interesting to see what his plan is here. To Dwayne Smith, who's obviously a very cagey operator and has played a lot of cricket around the world.
But obviously with a lot of experience, Ian Bell playing very sensibly right now. Realizes that, you know, to build a partnership, try to take the team to about 100, 110 in the next 6 overs. Oh! A fantastic ball by Dwayne Smith. Tanvir Afzal trying to pull that away. Bit of movement and Tanvir Afzal bowled Dwayne Smith.
Yeah, you could really see that coming here, Tanvir Afzal. He was, I mean, heads up in the air, not watching the ball, trying to hit it out onto Ting Kwong Do, as they call it here next to the ground. Nowhere near it, and Dwayne Smith cleans up for his first wicket. I think that brings in Misbah ul Haq, who'll have the job of closing this innings. Played very well in the first two matches here, Misbah. 80 odd not out in both knocks and giving his chance every opportunity. They'll be looking for him to do the same on Hong Kong Island United. Must-win game for them here, actually, Hong Kong Island. We've talked about the ladder positions. It's very tight. One match separating all sides, and Misbah, being captain of the Hong Kong Island, will want to take his team home here and give them the best chance of getting into that final tomorrow.
Absolutely. Hong Kong Island United would be hoping for Misbah to repeat his performances. 2 games, 2 half-centuries and both not out. Misbah ul Haq has played some fantastic innings here in this DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. The crowd love him. He's been giving everything to the crowd as well.
I did see a great marketing exercise by the Hong Kong United, giving away free flags to people who entered into the ground. Very, very smart there by the marketing and commercial director of that franchise.
Absolutely, and making the ground look very colourful.
Just looking out of the window here, we can see it's already starting to fill out the crowd. As Dwayne Smith enters into Misbah for the first ball, knocks it into the offside for a single, and this time the single is taken. Brilliant running there by Ian Bell. You can see the experience of these two. They'll know what to do. Knock it into the gaps for the first 4 or 5 overs, get themselves, you know, the platform set, and really launch towards that target in the last 5 overs. Dwayne Smith comes into bowl again to Ian Bell, hits it straight back to the bowler, well fielded by Dwayne Smith. Looks to the run out from Misbah, but nothing there, and that's the end of the over. 67 for 3 after 9 overs. And we're going to look at a highlight package here from Misbah so far for the tournament. Some massive hits from Misbah in the first game against the Galaxy Gladiators Lantau, scoring 84 from 50 deliveries. Really putting to pay anything with length. Hit to all parts of the ground. His hitting, especially to that mid-wicket region, was great to watch for the crowd. Really set the week off on a brilliant note, and you see that.
Definitely smashing some out of the park.
And this is what the crowd has come to see, that sort of hitting. Probably not that crowd, the Kowloon Cantons crowd. That's the owner's box over there. Probably wouldn't want to see that from Misbah today, would they, Ibs? But
all cricket lovers would love to see Misbah hitting the ball out of the park. He's been phenomenal in this tournament. Just like how Dwayne Smith played in the first game, getting that big century, very quick century.
And it's Mudassar Hussain here to continue into the 10th over. Bowling to Misbah. Floats one up there, punches him down the ground to long on for a single. Intelligent batting there by Misbah. You know, judging on his first few innings, he does take his time to get in. He likes to have a look at the first 20 balls and really launches towards the back end.
Yes, that's his strength, I guess. So getting in, taking some time, and then he has the power to definitely muscle the ball out of the park. He can hit any bowler out of the park. Ian Bell, not much of feet movement. A single down to long off. Babar Hayat, the fielder. Good bowler this, Mudassar. Mudassar Hussain looking really good. Barring the one he tossed up to Tanveer Afzal, which was smashed for a 6.
Comes into bowl again here to Misbah. Drags it down this time. Misbah just pushes it into the leg side. Big open expanses usually in a 20-20 game in that mid-wicket region. You know, batsmen will often look for 2 in that area. Mission Road being quite a small ground. Another opportunity there to take 2s, but singles on offer, and Misbah's not going to say no at this point of the innings. Mudassar again will come into bowl here to Ian Bell. Big wicket now for Mudassar if he can take this one. Like the wrong one there out of the hand, Hibbs. I don't know whether you picked that, but Ian Bell did and knocked it down to long on for a single.
Misbah back on strike. You see Ian Bell stepping down, yorked himself, just managed to squeeze that out to long gone, getting a single. The key here would be these 2 batsmen playing for another 6 overs, trying to get in 40 to 50 runs. It'll be a lot easier for them to finish the game.
Misbah goes for the reverse sweep there, and another single there to Misbah. He's got all the tricks, Misbah. He reverse sweeps, slog sweeps. We're going to see a replay there, and you can see he switches his hands across and doesn't try and overhit it though. He doesn't try and hit that one for 6. He's just trying to find the gap. He knows the short boundaries here in Mission Road. All he has to do is find the gap, and he'll be greeted with the boundary. Into bowl again, Mudassar. Ian Bell advances, tries to hit big, and the call's for 2. The fielders make an absolute meal of that, and that goes for 4. It's not great fielding there on the boundary there, Ibs, if I'm being honest. The fielding today's been quite good, but that was a poor effort on the boundary, if I'm honest.
Well, Dwayne Smith not one of the fastest on the field. I guess 2 fielders hoping that the other one would slide.
Both looked at each other there, didn't they? Yours, sorry, 4. Bowler not impressed with that. You can see him staring over the 2 fielders.
That boundary in, Bell moving along quite well. Looking good right now. After 10 overs, score moves on to 76 for the loss of 3 wickets. Babar Hayat thinking, how is he going to get the wicket? Either of these batsmen's wicket in the next couple of overs would be really good for Kowloon Cantons.
And Dwayne Smith, he's gone to his go-to man so far today. Dwayne Smith with 1 for 11 from his 2 overs has bowled brilliantly. Should have had a couple. Probably should have had the wicket of Ian Bell, as we've discussed earlier. He's going to give him a 3rd over here and try and get that breakthrough that'll make it very difficult for HKI. Dwayne Smith runs in. Goes through to the length into the pad there. Big appeal. Looked a little high from our vantage point, Ibs.
Yeah, onto his thighs. Definitely Dwayne Smith has been bowling quite good here. He'd be hoping to get at least one of the wickets of these 2 batsmen, or even 2. World-class batsmen playing right now. Misbah ul Haq and Ian Bell.
Just a little rub there from Misbah. I'm not sure that did strike the thigh pad there. Ibs looked like it might have been a little bit to the right of it.
Yeah, just inside the thigh pad.
As he bowls short and wide and tries to knock it into the offside for 1. Fielded there by Raza.
He's bowling the right length, I feel. Not up to the batsman, not too short. Making the batsman think, hoping the batsman would do something.
Dwayne Smith comes into Misbah ul Haq. Outside off stump, and Misbah tries to run that down to 3rd man, but it can only succeed in finding the man at backward point there for another dot. It's a great start to the over here by Dwayne Smith. 3 consecutive dot balls.
Run rate quickly moving on. The required run rate 9.62. Still definitely gettable, especially when these two are going to be batting the whole 20 overs. It's going to be an advantage for Hong Kong Island United.
And he's knocked it into the gap there for a 1. This field will bring about a second run. Actually, they've come back for 2. Bowler Dwayne Smith admonishing his fielding again there, and not happy with. Oh, and then is that Callum McLeod kicking the turf there? Yeah, it is. Said he copped a dodgy bounce. Bowler didn't care though, did he? Comes in to bowl again, Dwayne Smith. Oh, well bowled. Nearly played that on Misbah. Dwayne Smith really getting the ball to do a little bit off back of a length there. I think we saw Tanvir Ahmed earlier making the ball talk. I think if he feels if he gets a little bit too full here, he's a chance to go down the ground for 6.
They've got a bit of assistance from the pitch as well, as we noticed that the first 2 overs got where 5 to 6 boundaries were scored in the first two overs. After that, there's been very dry moments here.
Oh, look at that one, Ibs. That's come back a foot off the pitch there, and they're both having a bit of a laugh to themselves, the bowler and the batsman. And that's the end of the over. The score at 78 for 3 after 11.
Hello, Matthew.
Hello, welcome to the commentary box. Exciting time of the game.
Yeah, it's great and absolutely fantastic to have these 2 world-class batsmen batting together.
Yeah, I mean we've said that all along, having the names like Ian Bell and Misbah and Marlon Samuels from the Cantons and these players. It's just fantastic for the tournament, for the people of Hong Kong to get along and watch these players. As we watch the replay of the last ball from the last over, Dwayne Smith and Misbah ul Haq exchanging in a bit of a laugh there at this second wicket used here at the DTC Hong Kong T20 Blitz. Offered a little bit more to the bowler than the first 2 days. But you know, it's not just a batsman's game.
Well, we've seen bowlers are getting smarter and smarter in terms of the way they try and restrict run rates.
There's
Asher Zaidi.
Zaidi. I was saying Zaida before, so Zaidi. My apologies to the viewers out there. Zaidi comes in and the reverse sweep straight away from Ian Bell. That's gone down through third man. Will it be stopped? The old foot wedge comes out on the boundary and restricts it to just the 2.
A little bit more cash fielding from Marlon.
We've seen a little bit of that today from the Cantons. They're trusting the surface here at Mission Road, but they're not willing to get the coloured clothing dirty. Zaidi comes in again. Ian Bell wide outside off stump there. Possibly could have been a wide if he had to let that one go.
Perhaps. So Matt, you made your first class debut against the Netherlands, didn't you, for Hong Kong?
I did, just about a month ago now. We played an I-Cup game against the Netherlands at this very ground, Mission Road. Ian Bell knocks that straight back to the bowler for no run. Yeah, look, great experience for myself. Come over here, originally born here in Hong Kong, and came back a year ago to take a job here with Cricket Hong Kong, and thankfully been given the opportunity to play. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but Ian Bell advances and knocks that back.
Just see whether or not there was a chance that wasn't taken. Perhaps there was. Trying to work out whether or not it went straight to the gloves and bounced off.
I think in any case, being an ex-keeper, it's a very difficult one to take there. When you get a deflection like that, regardless whether it's a sweep, reverse sweep, outside edge, bottom edge, inside edge, they're always difficult for the keeper. And Shahid looked to be keeping low and just ricocheted off the gloves there down to the third man. But going back to the I-Cup game, it was obviously disappointing for Hong Kong not to get the result. 550 we made in the first innings and had Netherlands in trouble there at 5 for 100, but couldn't quite finish the game off and ended in a very entertaining draw. Over 1,500 runs, 1,400 runs scored, I think, in the match. So.
And we saw yet more runs when the I Cup games took place as well, didn't we? Where there was
The World Cricket League.
Yep, the World Cricket League. I do. That's right.
And Misbah tries to go long here. Look to be straight up in the air and under it, and easily taken there. Big wicket there for Hong Kong, for Kowloon Cantons. Zaidi loves it. Sends the skipper of Hong Kong HKI United back to the dressing room, making things very difficult.
Just slight miscue from Misbah. First time he's been dismissed thus far in the tournament.
Should have a pretty healthy average then.
His average at the end of that innings, I believe, is 170.
A lot of people around the world would be pretty happy with that average.
Better than Bradman. How many runs did he score in 2020?
Not as many as Misbah, I would. And there we look at the replays. Zaidi, fantastic wicket for the Kowloon Cantons. Really opens up this match.
It's young Hong Kong Dragons player Ming there, coming on as the 12th man. He's was a community rookie with Sydney Sixers at the Big Bash.
So he went over there to experience, I guess, cricket in a very professional franchise before the Hong Kong T20 Blitz started, and from all reports, learnt a lot from the players over there, and the training and the way they go about playing the game, and has brought back that sort of professional attitude to Hong Kong with his training with the national squad here. Also participates with our Dragons and Pioneers teams in our domestic competition. Very important ambassador for the locals here in Hong Kong, and trying to grow the game, I guess, locally. So as Dwayne Smith comes in to finish his spell. Well bowled there in the block hole and returned back for no run. Very quickly there, Dwayne, didn't he?
He did indeed. Always easier. You're more motivated to field off your own bowling, aren't you?
Well, I would know. I've never bowled, but you're sure I would be.
It's Munir Dar there, the new batsman.
But very good this tournament, Munir. I don't know whether you've thought the same watching from afar, but
his partnership in the first game for Hong Kong Island United with Misbah was absolutely fantastic.
Back of the length there. That's where the pitch has been doing the talking. Get a little bit full. It's not been doing a lot. The back of the length seems to be doing a little bit off the wicket. Very difficult for the new batsman in. So Dwayne Smith recognising that and really banging the ball in, and that good to back of a length. Asking questions of the batsman all the time here, Dwayne. Fantastic figures he's got. 1 for 13 off 3.2. 3.3 might be.
So perhaps an underused bowler, really. I think he's pretty good for 2020. Clever changes of pace. Bowler Yorker. Going to tuck the batsman up.
Very solid unit. Very strongly built. As he works this one into the leg side and in. He calls for 2. They're not going to risk it. Fielded there by Wakas Khan on the boundary. Very good fielder, Wakas. Puts a lot of work into it. I've seen him on the training field and did well to cut down that to just a single.
It's nice to see him coming in a bit further up the order in this match as well for the Kowloon Cantons.
Wakas, yeah, it's very difficult, I guess, when you get the big names like Marlon Samuels and Dwayne Smith at the top of the order, and Zaidi, I think, thought batted very well today. The local guys have a job to do at the end, and I thought he came in and did quite well. As Ian Bell works that one beautifully, going to long on for a single.
Well, the pressure is now on the rest of the Hong Kong Island United batting lineup. It's been all Misbah all the time.
Ian Bell obviously missed out in the first game. Might not have copped a fantastic decision, but definitely caught one on the foot. And was a bit worried about the break there, but thankfully nothing resulted that. And they've set off for a single here. Dwayne Smith picks up but won't throw to the striker's end. Bit of confusion, but all's well that ends well.
A game, bruising your foot, missing a game from a poor decision is literally adding insult to injury.
It doesn't get much worse than that, does it? Although we did see him at 10 o'clock this morning watching, and I've seen less impressed people in my time playing some cricket. He was rugged up. It was a little bit cold here at that time, and at least he's fronted up here for the 7:45 game. Thankfully, I should say. He's obviously gone and got a scan, and there's no break there, and great for the tournament to have players like Ian Bell out there and playing it, which that brings us to the end of the over. It's 83 for 4 after 13.
Just to give you an idea of where the table looks at the moment, top of the table is the Hong Kong JD Jaguars, who have played 3, won 2, lost 1, 4 points. And then the Kowloon Cantons. Next, with a very, very healthy net run rate, and the guys that are in real danger and a massive, massive important game for them later today is the Galaxy Gladiators Lantau. They could do with a win, but also a big win to up that net run rate.
Yeah, you can see net run rate's really going to come into it at the end of the tournament here, with the table being so close. Everyone having a loss and a few wins scattered amongst them. Kowloon Cantons being the front runner there. They obviously had that massive win on the first day where Dwayne Smith went nuts and smashed 130 not out and really took the game away from the opposition.
So Asher Zaidi coming into bowl to Ian Bell. Another one that probably would have been a wide if he'd left it alone, but he's chopped it away to the cover boundary.
That's right. Bell, very experienced campaigner. He knows what's required at this point of the game. Still 7 overs remaining. Run rate just above 10 and over. Nothing to worry about at this point on a ground the size of Mission Road. Can easily be made up at the back end of an innings, as we've seen over the first 3 days of this tournament. So AD looking very focused, coming into bowl here to Manida, who just tucks it into the leg side. The call is for 2, and they're coming. Wakas, and make it easily. Very good running there by Manida. Very experienced campaigner, Manir. He's been around Hong Kong domestic cricket and the Hong Kong national team previously for a long time. Talks of retirement this year for Manir, but great to see him back out there playing, teaching some of the young kids in domestic cricket about the game and passing on that knowledge. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic bit of bowling there by Zaid. Really got that to straighten off the length. We can see this pitch offering a lot for the spin bowlers and the pace bowlers. Fantastic bowling again by Zaidi.
Yeah, Manir, as we watch this replay of the Asher Zaidi delivery, decent bit of wicket keeping from Shahid. Yeah, it's been a while since he played ODI cricket for in an ODI point of view, 2008, but he was in the squad for the World T20 in 2014. Played in that wonderful win against Bangladesh and top scored with 36 in that particular game.
And at 42 years young, is it's fantastic. As Zaidi comes into bowl and Team Bell knocks it into deep mid-wicket for an easy single.
There's an example there, just again, of the fact that Zaidi's just quite a clever, canny character. Saw Bell coming and dragged it down a little bit to tuck him up, fired it through a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Bell's always been someone to use his feet. Watching the batsman there and really firing it in. Munir Dar on strike. Again, smart batting here by these two batsmen, just knocking it into the gap. Don't want too many not balls, and that'll bring the end of the over. 88 for 4 after 14 overs, and the HKI all to do in front of them.
Yeah, if you were to use the Duckworth-Lewis pass score, hopefully no rain around, but it's quite a good judge in terms of where a team is, but they're a little bit behind. 109 is the pass score at the end of that over.
And we can see our Peroni club is really filling up with a couple of patrons there here bright and early this morning. That was the Millington family, I thought that was. Simon and James Millington, sponsors of Cricket Hong Kong here, really coming down and enjoying the day and enjoying everything that the Peroni Boundary Club has to offer.
Yeah, the guys behind Woodworm, sponsors of the Hong Kong Island United kit. I was fortunate enough to spend a little bit of time in the bar with Mr. Millington, who was a very gracious host.
As he always is, Mr. Millington. He's one of the best. He's been been around Hong Kong for a long time now, and it's been a great supporter of Hong Kong cricket and cricket Hong Kong and everything that goes into it. Obviously, with his with his partnership with us with making the clothes and everything, being at every game, it's fantastic to see them down supporting, and obviously really enjoying the day. We can hear the music's just started. Must be 10 o'clock.
It's even quarter past. It's only 10:15. It was a very early start this morning. 6 a.m. People started arriving to get this production all together. I was a bit of a late starter. I didn't turn up until about 5 minutes to 7.
Very late starter. I was here at 6:15 this morning, making sure everything was in order for the day's play today, and actually wasn't even light then, believe it or not.
I saw some great pictures earlier of everybody getting the ground ready with it still dusky and dark. We see Munir on strike there.
Change of bowling here.
Baba is going to come on and have a bowl.
And the captain feels as though he's the man to get the important breakthrough here. I'm sure he would have played a little bit of cricket with and against Munir over the years, so maybe they obviously play for the same club here in domestic cricket, Little Saiwan, the Asqua Little Saiwan Cricket Club, and Baba being the consummate professional he is, feels as though he knows a little bit about Munir Dar's game that might be able to bring about the breakthrough here for his side, Kowloon Cantons. And obviously knowing each other well, these two wouldn't want to give his wicket away to him, Munir Dar. Looks like he's going to bowl some seam up here, Baba. Coming off the long run too, he's just in front of the side screen there. Whenever I've seen Baba bowl before, he's always bowled off breaks. So this is an interesting decision here by the captain.
Well, let's see how he goes.
And he goes big to the leg side, bounces just short of the fielder there. Great effort on the boundary by Callum McLeod, and that'll result in the single.
Almost worked.
Really looked to take him on there first ball, didn't he? Baba, not being a regular pace bowler, just pulled that one down into the wicket, and Munir Dar was only too happy to oblige in trying to smack that into the scorer's area. And again, Ian Bell knocks that into cover. And
that's very close, and he's given him. Oh my goodness, Munir Dar is gone. Out of nowhere that wicket comes.
Well, the bowling change looks to have worked, Peter.
Absolutely. You see a replay now. Munir set off for a run there. I'm not quite sure why he thought there was one. Straight to the fielder. And an absolutely brilliant direct hit. And the umpire had no hesitation in giving him. Ian Bell just playing it out into the cover, straight to the fielder. And I believe it was Yasser Arafat that did that bit of fielding there.
Fantastic fielding there by Yasser Arafat. It's those little differences in a match of 2020 that can really make the difference. Which that brings out, is that Daniel Pascoe to the crease?
It is Professor Pascoe.
Professor Daniel Pascoe. Good man, Professor. They call him the Professor obviously because he teaches at the university here. He's a law teacher, teaches the young students about the law. Very smart man.
Run rate up to 13.5 and over. Needs something special from Ian Bell to get Hong Kong Island United home. Oh, and that's a lovely, lovely shot. Classic Ian Bell late cut away for 4 runs. Such a brilliant touch player, Bell. I hope, as an Englishman, I'd quite like to see him back in the middle order in the Test side.
As an Australian, I wouldn't mind seeing him there either. Your middle order's been playing quite well in recent times, so yeah, look, just going back to the required run rate there, we could see, I think it popped up a couple of overs ago, it was below 10, and a couple of really tidy overs and a few wickets there, and it jumps up to 13, 14 and over. That's 2020 cricket. And Dean Bell goes long down the ground over mid-off, and that's out of Mission Road, that one.
That is a huge 6. Again, talking about Bell being a touch player, one of the great things about him is that was effortless.
And the umpires are running onto the field with another lost ball this week. That's straight over the Boundary Club Peroni tent. We can see the CEO there, Tim Cutler, in the background. Really enjoyed that hit over long off. And Ian Bell tries to go long again and down to the leg side. And just the single out there. Great fielding on the boundary, cutting it down to just the one.
Yeah, decent effort there from Callum McLeod.
Barbara Hyatt just throwing it up there to Ian Bell in the slot. Ian Bell couldn't quite get all of it going. Trying to repeat the dose down the ground, but just the thickish inside edge pulled it to the leg side. You can see Callum McLeod mopping up on the boundary there. Barbara Hyatt to Dan Pascoe, who's played it on. The full toss to Dan Pascoe is just knocked into the leg stump. Barbara Hyatt, an inspired bowling change by Barbara Hyatt, the captain of Kowloon Cantons, has really turned this game on its head. And Dan Pascoe shaking the head as he walks off. Here we go, we see a replay. Full toss that he's played into his leg and back on the stumps. A little bit unlucky there for Dan Pascoe. He'll feel a little aggrieved as he looks back at the stumps. But, you know, they say in 2020 cricket, it's not always the great balls that get wickets. It's the pressure that the bowler and the fielding team build up.
It's 105 for 6. Dan Pascoe gone. Very disappointed, obviously. 101 for 6, I do apologise. 15 overs gone. Run rate now creeping up towards 15. So we see Chris Jordan being interviewed in front of us.
Right in front of us too, Peter.
Yes.
As Marlon Samuels looks to be coming into the attack from the softball park end, I'm going to call it. So Ian Bell, as we've talked about throughout this innings, remains the key. A lot to do. Marlon Samuels. Ian Bell advancing and just knocking it into the leg side there for a single, and they're coming back for 2. Oh, a direct hit might have had him there. Great dive into the crease by Hassan Khan. And we can see the replay here. Ian Bell doing what he's done a lot this innings, and who's that coming in off the boundary? Dwayne Smith making fantastic yards from the boundary, and the direct hit may have had him in trouble there. Hassan Khan with a despairing dive makes his ground. Marlon Samuels, Ian Bell just knocks it into the deep mid-wicket area for a single. Dwayne Smith a lot more casual this time around, not charging in, trying to save the 2. And Peter, if we look at that required run rate again, it's almost pushing 14s now.
More than possible. They can do it, but something special needs to happen, and that something special, I suspect, is going to come from England's Ian Bell. As Marlon Samuel bowls a lovely ball, tucking up Hassan Khan. Marlon Samuels, of course, wasn't allowed to bowl for a while, as we watch a replay of that ball that cannoned into the batsman's pads. This one bumped up the pitch for one more. Had his action assessed, and they decided that he had too much flex in his elbow, and he was told that he couldn't bowl, but he's been retested, and now he's back being able to bowl. Very successful bowler in this format of the game. That one almost got him somewhere really rather painful as he came down the pitch, and Marlon Samuels dropped it a bit shorter, tucked him up. Inside edge onto his pads. See. Ian Bell offering some advice. Ashan Khan there, back with a man who's played 118 test matches for England. Just shy under 8,000 test match runs. I have a go at saying it's about 7,720 there or thereabouts. 63 runs required from 24 balls. And to the point where it's almost 3 runs a ball that's required. As you see there, run rate 15.75 runs and over. Oh, a lovely shot, robbed of 4 runs as it cannons into the stumps. Marlon Samuel picks it up, throws it back. Almost broke the stumps, he hit that so powerfully. Lovely shot there of those stumps being broken as they laid them back. Run rate now creeping over 16 runs and over.
Skipper. 1-1, man. Yeah. Bring up that man.
Hammond's tried to be scooped around the corner. Throw at the stumps and he's hit. Is that one out? The umpire says no. Ashan almost run out. An absolutely fantastic piece of fielding by Tanvir off his own bowling. Great athleticism from Tanvir Ahmed there, 19 years old. He's played 5 ODIs and 5 T20s for Hong Kong. He's a Kowloon Cricket Club boy. I was lucky enough to visit Kowloon Cricket Club last night, an absolutely stunning facility there. That one is edged and it's going to run away for 4. Big swing, very little ding. That's 50 for Ian Bell. Not the most auspicious shot to bring it up, but he's played very well. That's come up off just 42 balls. There's going to need to be a lot more from Bell now. 57 runs required from 21 balls.
Huh? Yeah.
16.29 that required rate. Target 169 to win. Ashan Khan on strike. $113 for 6 the score in the 17th over. It's a full toss on the pads and that one's worked around the corner. It's going to be just a single. Tanvir Ahmed has been given the job by the Hong Kong national side in limited overs cricket as being the death bowler. Coach Simon Cook was telling me that he just told him to fire in as many Yorkers as he could. That's probably what he was going for there, but didn't quite get the length right. Another single, but singles aren't going to do it from here. It's the end of the over. Let's have a look at the scorecard here. As we can see, big contribution there from Ian Bell. They lost Misbar Hack for just 6, which was a massive, massive loss for them. Daniel Pascoe out first ball for a duck, bowled by the Hong Kong national captain Baba Hyatt, bowling a rare spell of seam bowling. Marlon Samuels bowling as that one is plonked away for another single from Ian Bell. As that one is plonked straight up in the air. Is that catch going to be taken? It is indeed. Ashan Khan goes. Marlon Samuels, the man with the wicket. I think that was Mudasa taking the catch. He's not wearing a shirt with his name on the back of it, which makes it slightly more difficult, but I think that's the clue that's led me to believe it's him. Oh, no, I stand corrected. Asher Zaidi, the catcher there. Asher Zaidi's been a fantastic signing for the Kowloon Cantons. Plays for Essex in the county championship and their 2020 side. As Bell pulls that one towards Cal corner, and that's 4 more. We're going to need a lot more of that from Ian Bell if Hong Kong Island United are going to get anywhere close to their target of 169. And that one is short again and pulled away again. Isn't going to go to the boundary this time. Not going to go for 2 runs. Just happy with a single. Saeed Ajmal, the new batsman, is now on strike. 19.6 the run weight now. It's looking very difficult as I'm joined by Max Abbott here in the commentary box.
Pretty tough assignment. Ajmal straight up in the air. This one should be taken. That mask hasn't impeded the vision for Shahid Wasif. And another wicket falls here, and the Kowloon Cantons circle on victory. Zaidi almost looking to check Saeed Ajmal's bat for him there as he walked off.
This win would take Kowloon Cantons to 4 points, tied with Hung Hom JD Jaguars, both with an identical record of 1-2 play 1, if they do and get there. And there isn't something truly remarkable from Ian Bell, but it's looking to be a long way away from a Hong Kong Island United victory right now.
Great reaction there from Marlon Samuels. Good to see the overseas players enjoying themselves. The Kowloon Cantons, of course, will be back in action later this afternoon. I'll go away, I believe they're going to Kowloon Cricket Club for some lunch. Come back for their 3 o'clock game, although we may move it forward if time permits. This game's pretty much gone the distance, so no time being able to be made up. Concerns over light later this afternoon.
So that one again is short from Samuels, and it's pulled away out into the leg side. They think about coming back for a second, but they decide against it. And there may have been 2 there if they push really hard.
Got a feeling it's because it was the last ball of the over. They keep Bell on strike. I dare say it might be advised that Ian Bell just stay on strike and try and hit 4s and 6s. Although Nadeem Ahmed can hit a long ball, but Ian Bell is a world-class player.
Run rate there, 22.15.
We saw Dwayne Smith, this has ticked up there.
23.5.
Saw Dwayne Smith hitting over for 29. So they could find something like that. 142, 151. That'll leave themselves a sort of gettable 18 off the last over.
It's all in hand. Ian Bell's got this. It looks as if it's going to be Tanvir that's going to continue. Ian Bell on strike. Bell already past the half century. 58 from 48.
Well bowled.
Got the bowler wrong there. It's Yasir Arafat. The toss for the second game today is going to be taking place almost as soon as this one comes to an end at 11 o'clock for the toss.
Yeah, not much gap between games. That's a 10-minute shift forward in start time. Full delivery hit to the onside. They have to run. And,
Being
Badri there, just at least getting Ian Bell on strike, but it really is non-negotiable 6s required.
Being told in my ear that the only time we're going to have to, between matches, is a quick pop to use the facilities, and then back to sit down here.
Bell advances up in the air. Don't know if he's got enough on it. And a collision, but safely taken. They can laugh about it in the end. Ian Bell, he tried to do this on his own, but never really able to score at the rate that was required. He goes for 59. Deliveries. And that confirms that victory will go to the Cantons here in this crucial match, but net run rate still very important, so Hong Kong Island United will really need to try and knock off another 10, 15, 20 runs here with this last wicket if they can.
Yeah, 124 for 9. Required rate now, 30 runs and over. So they're going to have to do, well, they're going to have to do the impossible here, aren't they?
Yeah, we'll be in for a show if they can get within 10. Net run rate so important here.
Oh, lovely, lovely delivery from Yasser Arafat. Someone who's superb at bowling those deliveries at the end of an innings. As that one is pulled out into the leg side, and a lovely low down catch from Callum McLeod. Really well taken by the Scotland international there.
So that's a big win for the Kowloon Cantons. A 44-run win. That's a fairly good margin. Their net run rate was already very good, so they may well have enough as it is to get through to the final with a good net run rate. They're very, very well placed with one match to play later this afternoon against the Galaxy Gladiators Lantau as we take a look at the players shaking hands.
So we're going to have 20 minutes or so until the toss for the next match takes place. So we will be back for the second match at 11:15 local time. That's about 35 minutes for now. On behalf of myself, Peter Miller, and Max Abbott, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm just waiting to hear in my ear whether or not we're going to have an interview with the man of the match. So we may need to...
Well, while we wait for that, just keep in mind that this afternoon what we got coming ahead. We've got Telekaratna Dilshan with City Kaitak and Chris Jordan playing in that side. Looking forward to seeing them in action again. Up against the Hung Hom JD Jaguars, Darren Sammy ready to line up along with James Franklin and some quality overseas talent, along with, of course, some great domestic players. So lots to look forward to. Then the Cantons back in action later this afternoon. And we will have a man of the match presentation for you very shortly. It really has been a great start here to Super Saturday as the drone flies in. That must be Brian Chan flying his drone around. Hope he's got permission. The DTC shop. Fans coming down today, got to get their merchandise and bargains from down at the DTC shop. Lots of free giveaways, as you can see there. Red Bull tent or umbrella just in front there. Lots of Red Bull at the various stalls. Good sponsors of this event.
That replica shirts they've got sale. Oh my God.
They have some replica shirts with some DTC mobiles. You get them signed. They've got the big backdrop there with, unfortunately you can see Shahid Afridi in the backdrop there. It was a late withdrawal due to injury.
Yeah, horrible gash on his finger. Sustained playing in the Pakistan Super League.
And, good to see people getting down to the DTC shop.
And here's Catherine with the man of the match.
Yes, our man of the match made a half century and took 2 wickets. It's a big congratulations to Marlon Samuels. Congratulations, Charlie Burke. Marlon, you seem to be enjoying yourself out there.
Well, definitely. We haven't had the start that we wanted, but nevertheless, had to play the innings that I'm accustomed to playing by seeing through, trying to build a partnership and continue to talk with the batsman in the middle.
And how are you finding the second pitch?
Oh, this pitch that we play on, it's a bit on the slower side. Some balls slows up, some balls come through. The middle one is way better. Balls come right through, but nevertheless, if you're a batsman, you have to adjust. So what we're trying to do as batsmen is adjust to the condition.
Now, you'll be playing a second game today, so do you think around that 160, 170 mark is going to win a game?
Are we playing on the same pitch?
Yes, you are, I believe.
Oh, well, definitely. 160, 170 will be a challenge in total on this track.
Marlon, congratulations and all the best for later on.
Oh, pleasure. And I'll speak to you again later on.
Thank you, Catherine. And thank you, Marlon Samuels. As I said, I'll be back again for coverage of match 2 on Super Saturday at 11:15 local time. That's now 32 minutes away. Hope you're back to join us. Thank you very much. Speak soon.